Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived. A look at Wolf statue here in Raleigh. Carter Finley Stadium is where it will be going down in about 90 minutes. The Walk of Champions, the Wolf Pack. They travel in a pack. They have arrived. Game faces on. Coach Dave Doeren looking to build on that momentum from 2020, a historic season. What do we have in store this year? Carter Finley quiet now, I can promise you. It'll be a different scene here shortly. The huddle starts now!
2020 speaks for itself. While we hope to never have to do that again, it did give us some surprises we'll never forget. We saw new faces, overtime thrillers, unexpected upsets, and in the end, a familiar dynasty continued. Last year, we needed all that. College football gave us a reason to smile, to cheer, to hope, and believe. But it hurt to see the sport we love missing some of its perfect pieces. The traditions, the pageantry, the fans. And now we are more than ready for the mayhem of Enter Sandman at Lane Stadium. The rumble of the Ramblin' Wreck. The roar of the Seminoles at Doak. We can almost feel the energy of the entrances through the smoke, on a gallop, and down the hill. We can almost hear the boom of the bell, the hype of the howl, the chants of defense on 4th and inches, and the hysteria of the home crowd after a late touchdown. In 2020, we needed college football. This year, college football needs us. Our passion, our pride, and our tailgates. Welcome home. We're back.
The anticipation of this was 2 years in the making. A look at Wendell Murphy Football Center. The tailgaters are out, scattered all over the fairgrounds. We couldn't have asked for better weather here to kick off September. I'm your host, Jordan Cornette. We've got the group. The band is back together for USF and NC State, kicking off here in just under 90 minutes. Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and the coach, Coach Mark Richten. Guys, let's take this moment in. Yes. It's been 2 years since we've been able to be back together like this. Feels good.
Awesome.
Feels amazing. You guys are even better looking in person than you are on Zoom. Coach, you always get first say. What's it feel like to be here? How happy are you to kick off the season?
It's an amazing feeling. Last night we're at the hotel getting ready ourselves, and then the team, NC State's team bus rolls up, and I see all the guys roll out, and all my memories came back of what it takes to get ready for a game, and I'm so thankful I could be at this game and not worry about who wins or who gets a first down or who scores in the red zone.
It's a beautiful thing, man, to be back in person, to smell the smells, to see the sights. And, man, college football is here. We're here. Yeah. It's exciting, man.
No, absolutely. Just to get back in the stadium where you see the grass, you see the players getting excited and walking around the campus. It's just I'm so grateful and thankful to be here, honestly. Besides
with you guys.
Yeah, to be with you guys. Last year was tough for all of us, man, so I'm glad that we made it through and we're here together.
Yeah, I think the one thing people don't get a chance to realize is you become family when you work as closely as we do, and to be able to do it in person after taking that year off, much like everybody out there in the world, it was challenging, but we're here. And we're going to rock out for the whole night tonight and get this weekend kick-started. College football is back, everybody. Now for what we're getting to tonight. USF, NC State. That game is coming up here, 7:30 Eastern, right here on ACC Network. The Pack looking for a big win out of the gate after that 8-win season a year ago. Our very own Kelsey Riggs caught up with head coach Dave Doeren moments ago.
Coach Doeren, it's been 642 days since you last had the opportunity to have a normal home game here with fans. You can hear everybody behind us. What will you tell your team about taking in the moment?
I already told them, this is what they work for. This is one of these 7 home opportunities. all the sweat, equity that we have, this is part of the payoff, you know. So to enjoy the moment today, enjoy each other, the brotherhood, and have fun with it.
The expectations for this team are so high this year. It all starts with Devin Leary. Everybody knows his journey to get back here. What impressed you the most about him?
He's just in a really good space right now, you know, emotionally. He knows the offense. He knows Coach Beck. He's comfortable in the leadership role he's created for himself. I'm proud of him. You know, his teammates love playing with him, and it's fun to watch him right now, just being around these guys and how much fun he's having playing football.
It all starts with South Florida today. What will you tell your team about setting the tone early?
Well, that's step one. You know, we want to win in the trenches. You know, that's where it starts for us, and look forward to watching that battle up front. But, you know, for us, so many things that matter in a game, taking care of the football, number one, getting the ball back and winning that explosive play battle.
Coach, thanks. Good
Thanks
luck.
a lot. Go Pack.
Had a chance there to hear from Coach Dave Doeren, and we got a fantastic lineup of guests who will join us in our 90 minutes here. Coming up later in the show, 3 guests for you, starting with Athletic Director at NC State. 4 guests, because we are adding on to our list. Athletic Director Boo Corrigan, and of course the Commissioner of the Conference, Jim Phillips, followed by 2 distinguished alums in former NFL linebacker Stephen Tulloch and country singer Scotty McCreery. So whole lot to get here to tonight, but let's focus on the football field. And EJ, what's the first thing that you're excited to see come tonight when football gets started?
Yeah, well, it's a player, guys. It's Emeka Emezie. To me, he's a tremendous receiver. You look at the tape, he's 6'3", 220 pounds. One of those guys that can go up and get those 50-50 catches. I think what he brings to the what he brings to the table is that yards after catch mentality. A lot of times you see receivers, they make a catch and they're getting tackled, or they make a catch, they go out of bounds. Emeka's one of those guys, he can bounce off a defensive back and keep running, possibly get a touchdown. So I like what he's bringing. I'm actually glad he came back for this final year. It's kind of like a COVID year, so to speak. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table.
You know, I think we got robbed last year from watching Devin Leary, because he was playing so great when he broke his leg last year, and now he's back. So I want to see how healthy he really is, how comfortable he is now after he's healed his leg. I remember in the spring game I saw a shot where he was celebrating with a teammate, and he was kind of gingerly jumping and bumping and all that kind of stuff. But and I just want to see, you know, how much rust will there be and how quickly can he shake it off.
How about the big uglies up front? I'm excited
to see
this NC State offensive line. That's right, Big Icky at left tackle,
Yep.
Grant Gibson at center, 2 of the best in the country at what they do. Cannot wait to see those guys and really just set a tone for the season, because this is when you do it against your first opponent at home.
Yep.
Can't wait to see them.
I'll tell you, the first thing I'm excited to see is those stands behind us.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Being
That's
crowded
right.
with people. I mean, we've been yearning for this moment, longing for it, and we're going to have it here shortly. There's a buzz around campus here without question. There's fans all over the fairgrounds. People are, oh, is that brisket?
Come on.
Oh, we got brisket.
I just
going.
literally just got hungry, so.
Yeah, right. Hey, EJ, I stay hungry. You know how that goes, man. If you're ready, you don't have to get ready. So living in a moment, everybody is, as they've been looking forward to this moment. But we're going to go ahead and flash it back. And EJ, my apologies
Here we go.
early on, because for some reason,
Here we go.
we disrespect the legend on the set here all the time. We're going to flash it back to 2012 when EJ and his undefeated number 3 Seminoles lost 17-16 right here at Carter Finley.
Yeah.
Mike Glennon threw a game-winning touchdown pass to Brian Underwood, 16 seconds left. But the most memorable play, as we see young EJ walking off, was that young man getting a celebration off. EJ, what do you remember from that night?
Yeah, guys, it seems like they always bring up, you know, the Florida State losses here on the ACC Network. But in all seriousness, yeah, it's all good, Coach. But in all seriousness, this is a tough place to play. The main thing I remember, we were up 16-0 going into the half. Second half, we just came out flat. We didn't do anything. We didn't put up any more points on the board offensively. And then defensively, you know, they just kept, dinking and dunking it down the field and obviously scored enough points to beat us. So now, 2012, we won 34-0.
There you go.
Might I add that, but 2013, they got us.
321 passing yards.
Yeah, it's a solid
2
day.
touchdowns, no interceptions in that game. You're
Solid day. Solid
I was
day.
going to make sure we mentioned that.
Appreciate it,
Coach, how about you?
Well, my last time here as a coach, I was at Miami. We're playing in 2016, my first year. 3-3 halftime. It was a battle royal, and then we kind of ran away from it in the second half. Mark Walton had 3 touchdowns. Brad Kaya threw for close to 300. So, and then a freshman receiver, Amon Richards, had 9 catches for over 100 yards. So it's kind of a breakout day for him.
Eric, what's the perception when you come in here being the opposing team. I mean, you know it's a passionate fan base. You know they support their pack. What do you recall from coming in here as a Tiger?
Yeah, JC, man, they are a rowdy bunch, and they love to support this team. They're so passionate, so eager to be back. That's why I'm so excited that we're starting here. First game on the network for this season with this team. Man, they're going to get after it. This is a tough place to play if you're an opponent.
It's going to be a tough place to play, but the most interesting part is you've got half of the roster for the pack that have never seen Carter Finley full. So there's going to be some nerves. Does that play in? How do you temper that, Coach?
I don't know if you temper it. I think you just live it out. I mean, these guys, they come to college to be at these kind of moments. And they, again, everybody got robbed last year from COVID. And the fact that people couldn't see the games in person and the guys couldn't feel the stands, so the fans. So it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, if anything, I would say it would be excitement. I couldn't imagine playing in a meaningful college football game or NFL game with no fans in the crowd.
Crazy.
Or even if it's 500 people. I mean, that kind of takes me back to high school. So to me, I think the players are going to be excited. I think the level of play will be elevated because of that. Naturally, a home crowd is like the 12th man, I like to say. You know, they talk about the 12s over in Seattle for the Seahawks, and I feel like that's what you're going to get here in Carter Finley tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be unique to see. I hope it's not jarring because that was the norm for so long, and we're getting back to that norm. Getting to the stadium are the Bulls. They're looking to shock the world. Heavy underdogs here, USF, as they arrive. Familiar face there, Coach, for you.
Yes.
Coach Jeff Scott, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Look, South Florida struggled mightily last year, but they won 6 of their last 7 season openers, so reason to glean optimistically. How about the best linebackers in the conference? Best linebackers in the country, maybe. We break down the elite group for the pack. That's coming up next.
No matter where you look on campus at NC State, you'll see red bricks, the literal building blocks, stepping stones, and heart of the university. They form the historic buildings and pathways that crisscross campus, and over 500,000 alone lay right here at the Brickyard. They're even under the paint and art of the Free Expression Tunnel. And tonight, you'll also see red bricks on the football field on these special helmets for the pack. What's better than that and a slobbering wolf to pack a punch in week 1?
Another look at Carter Finley, and fans are already starting to come in. They open the gates here at 6 o'clock, and I'll tell you, they've been up since the sun was up today, so they are ripe and ready for football here. We just talked about the history with the helmet. There's a look at the slobbering wolf. It's a nice looking helmet there. They're only going to wear it one time this season.
That's right.
One time this season, so you know what you better do.
You
better win that football game. They're only going to wear it once. So it'll be really interesting to see how they fare, but they're going to look good doing it. They're going to look good this year, the Pack, because they got a whole lot of talent coming back. Let's break down that talent returning to Raleigh. It starts at the quarterback position with Devin Leary. Spectacular in 4 games before breaking his leg and unfortunately missing the rest of the season, but Leary has help in the backfield. Their top 3 rushers from last season all returning with them. That includes Bam Knight. He's an absolute load to bring down, leading the way. And the defense returns 86% of its production, ranked 4th best in the ACC according to ESPN's FPI. Defense is headlined by tackling machine Peyton Wilson, who should be a candidate for Conference Defensive Player of the Year. So when you look at this team and you talk about all this experience coming back, Coach, how focusing in on a roster, where is that experience most valuable and shows itself?
Well, what happens is when you got a veteran team, you're going to have a leader in every segment meeting room. Quarterback's going to have one, running backs, tight ends, linebackers, corner safeties. So everybody's got a leader in that group. And usually when you have leaders like that, the coach doesn't have to do a lot of motivation. The players are leading the team because they know the standard. And then your overall execution is better because they've been around, they know the deal, and you can count on them to take care of business.
Yeah, I would say the fact that you have the center, he had 12 starts last year. Was that Grant Gibson, and the left tackle, Akim Ekwonu, he had 12 starts. So I think when you have continuity on the offensive line, that goes a long way, especially for a quarterback that had an injury last year. He was 3-0 in the games that he did play, but I know as a quarterback myself, when I had guys that I knew, those familiar faces in the huddle, that always made me feel even more comfortable. So I think that's going to help him out a lot.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about that offense. I want to talk a little defense. When you look at these guys coming back, specifically at the linebacker level, it's just impressive at all three positions, led by Peyton Wilson. He's a guy that has such great range. Watch this play here as he's going to track the quarterback. He identifies, okay, this is where he wants to go for the ball, then uses his length and athleticism to really get in front of it, take that pick. He's a guy that can change the game sideline to sideline. Now the alpha dog, the guy that's going to lead the pack, if you will, Isaiah Moore. He has unbelievable closing speed. Watch this safety that he's able to trigger so quickly, get in the backfield, tackle for loss, 2 points for the defense. He has passion, he's vocal, and he's a heck of a football player. You're going to see that speed again. That was a G5 opponent. This is Virginia Tech, one of the best running attacks last year, just right through them. Tackle for loss, impressive. But you have athleticism, you have length. How about a little bit of muscle? That's what we're going to see from Drake Thomas, a guy that is just stocky, thick. I like to call him the thumper coach because he's bringing the pain. This is Clemson. He's going right through a wide receiver, right through an offensive lineman, tackle for loss. Let's look at that again. Run it back, Turbo, EJ.
Yes, sir.
You're going to see that just getting through all that traffic. It's a special group, guys. These linebackers, I believe, can be one of the best units in the country because of how well they play together. It's impressive to see.
Well, the linebackers here are kind of like the quarterback everywhere else. That's where you lead when you talk about this defense. How does the rest of that defense look, EJ, to you? Because they were up and down and inconsistent a year ago.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at their spring game, the corners is something an area that I think they've really improved as far as recruiting. Those guys are tall, they're long, they're rangy. I look at the Jalen Ramseys of the world, those kind of guys that have that body type. And I think that's what Coach Dorn's brought here to NC State, so that should help them also in their pass defense as well.
Coach, is that part of the identity here with the Pack? Yes. They want to win games, being good at every level of that defense?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, when you think about Coach Doring, he's a tough, hard-nosed guy, period. He's a no-nonsense guy, and that's how he likes to play defense. And they take on his personality, and things are going to go well for them.
They're 0-0 right now. Everybody's smiling. The fans are around. Everything's gravy. But let's lay out that schedule in front of us, because what fans really want to know at this point, how many wins are we going to get this year? Are we going to keep that momentum from that historic season a year ago where they won 8 games, a program best 7 in conference? And as we look at it, Dave Doran's squad will travel to Mississippi State next week before returning home for a matchup with Furman. As it stands, the Pack currently have 3 ranked opponents on the schedule.
Top 15, man.
Top 15.
Big time.
Yeah, top 15. So let's go ahead and make that money. Really get the intrigue of everybody out here listening. How many wins do you see on that schedule, Eric?
I think the goal should be double digits, JC. I think they need to try to kick the door down. Right. Coach Doran has been at 8. He's been at 9. Let's go to double digits, whether that's in a bowl or whether that's in the regular season. They've got it. It's a tough one. It's going to be well respected nationally. You go into a SEC house next week, Mississippi State. So I think that should be the goal, man.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say 10+. I think this is a team that they're bringing back so much talent. And again, when you see the road schedule that they have, I think that's the toughest part, but you have the experience. These guys aren't going to go out there bright-eyed, but, kind of afraid of the moment. The lights won't be too big for them, so I could definitely see 10+ wins for this team.
Well, you never start the season saying 9 wins is enough.
That's right.
But if you finish with 9, you've done a good job.
Great job.
If you get to 10, you've beaten
Excellent.
1 or 2 top 15 teams from the preseason. So there's some signature victories in that 10-win season.
And that's so interesting you guys go that high, because that's what this fan base is opining for. They've gotten very comfortable being a very good team every year, being competitive, winning games. What Coach Doran's done here speaks for itself. Right. They want to get over and break that threshold, it feels like. 8 wins last year gave them a taste of what it can be. Yep. It feels like if they get to 10, Raleigh may not know what to do with itself. But Coach Doran absolutely has this thing going in the right direction. You mentioned signature wins, Coach.
Right.
When you pop back up that schedule for us one more time, where do you see that signature win possibility?
Right. Well, obviously, you play Clemson, you play Miami, you play North Carolina. And like you mentioned before, Mississippi State, it may not be the best team in the SEC, but it's an SEC school. It's a game of note. So you got to knock down the door with 1 or 2 of those to really feel like you took the next step in your program.
I would agree. I mean, it's the same. Like, you got to win those SEC matchups. That was something that us at Florida State, we had a chip on our shoulder about that. When you get a chance to play a team out of your conference, especially the Southeastern Conference, you want to go out there and have a good product. But I would say the biggest signature win that I think this team should have a chance to win is the Clemson game. You know, I'm not saying that they're going to, but I think that when you look at the opportunity for them at home, you get Clemson at home early in the year, so I'm assuming most guys will still be healthy. Obviously, Clemson's going to be a tremendous, talented team, but I said that earlier on ESPN. I felt like that's kind of an opportunity for NC State to go out there and sneak another W versus one of the best teams in all of college football.
November 26th, North Carolina at home. That's the one, man, especially if North Carolina does what we think and they're going to be in that ACC championship discussion. You've got a big-time chance to upset your rival. If you ask any State fan around us right now, who do you want to beat? It's the Tar Heels.
Well, it's a different day here for the Pack. I mean, let's just call it what it is. You could argue they have the second most talent in the Atlantic, and when you return 19 starters and your quarterback, who after leaving with a broken leg last year but went 3-0 as the starter, there's reason for that optimism, no question. Optimistic we all are, because football's back. Are you kidding me? This week, we're just getting started, scratching the surface here in Raleigh. A whole chock full of games scheduled that we're going to preview and get a look at, because there's a whole lot of them on the slate. Some games that you guys are telling me could flip the trajectory of the whole season. We can have some answers that determine what the runway looks like. Our Friday Night Lights discussion coming up. And the leader of the Pack, Peyton Wilson, sure, but how about the athletic director, Boo Corrigan, joins the set next.
NC State ready to get their offense rolling.
And bam is bam.
And a quick strike for NC State.
What up, Pack Football? Y'all here with me? I'm mic'd up today. We're gonna turn up. I ain't even gonna lie. We the best group out here, honestly. If we being 100% honest. That's touchdown. Hey, our nutrition staff, they make the best PB&Js. Yes, sir. Oh, that's cold, yeah. Damn near one more. Come on. Hey, I bet y'all we score. I bet you we score, Corey. I bet you we score.
One-on-one, ready?
Oh.
Love watching these young athletes work, masters of their craft. Kelsey Riggs is a champion of the people. She's out there in the fairgrounds with the tailgaters having a real fun. Kelsey, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, Jordan, I've been talking with players all week about the excitement of finally getting back here playing in front of fans, but the fans are pretty pumped up too because we're back, we're tailgating. There's a lot going on here. We've got some pizza. Across the way, there's some bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers. I hope that you already ate because I know you're going to be mad at me right now as I throw out all these different foods, Jordan. As we walk through here, there's a lot of people already. We've still got a little while before game time. But people having a lot of fun, playing some football. This crowd right here, yeah, can I throw it for you? I don't know if I can catch it. Nope, I can't. Can't catch it. Ready? You go. A little bit of everything out here, Jordan, as you take a look. Guys, are we having fun? We excited?
Let's go Pack! Go Pack!
Food, football, family, lots going on out here, Jordan, as we get ready for kickoff.
Kelsey Riggs, great stuff, but just so you know, we're all going to be clowning you for dropping the pass. How do you do that? Well, since the network launched, no school has won more conference championships than the Pack. 7 titles in that span. NC State narrowly edged out their in-state rivals Duke and UNC. What a shame. With each winning 6 since the network launched. The guy in charge of it all, the fearless leader of the Pack, athletic director and friend, Boo Corrigan, kind enough to join us now. But we got one of those hats, and I'll tell you, me and this guy, surprisingly enough, has not taken his off. Story for another time. How cool is it to be in this moment? I mean, 2 years in the waiting. your passionate fan base being here, football being played. It's a beautiful thing.
You know what? It's just great to feel the vibe again, right? We're back here, and our fans are here, and they're excited. I came over yesterday, and there were 25 Winnebagos already set up.
There we go.
And they're ready to go. And, you know, everyone's been out here all day and wearing the red, throwing the woofies as much as you can. So it's just great to be back in Carter Finley.
Boo, when you see this ever-changing landscape that is college football, of where it's going, where it might go with playoff expansion, realignment, and alliances, just tell us a little bit, what's the stance for NC State of not being overly proactive, but definitely not being fallen behind?
Well, we're an active participant in everything that's going on, and I think it's a real tribute to Commissioner Phillips and what he's done and how he leads. You know, but we're still in the business of bringing people together and celebrating this great university. That's never going to change, and the education that we're providing is never going to change in what it is. We'll see where things go. I mean, you know, if you were going to predict where we were 2 years ago, we dang sure wouldn't have ended up with the global pandemic and everything else that's going on. So we're actively pursuing everything that's going on in front of us and making sure that we're being patient and waiting everything out.
Well, Boo, I've played here twice before. It's always been a hard-fought game. I actually don't think I've won in this stadium. The first time Russell Wilson got us, and the second time Mike Glennon got us, a good friend of mine. But how have you enhanced the fan experience within the stadium? I know you guys built Raleighwood, so talk to us a little bit about that.
You know, the exciting thing is we went into the pandemic looking at losing significant amount of money. Our fans stepped up. We had some special individuals in the Guardian Wolves step up. We ended up breaking even on the year.
Wow.
So as we're looking at that, what can we do here to enhance Raleighwood? You know, hey, come on, man. It's the best place in the state, right? Yeah. You got to love where you are right now with the food culture and everything else that we have going on. Chance to increase some food trucks, bring in some music later in the year, and just create more space for our fans to enjoy their time at Carter Finley.
Awesome.
You know, last night you invited us to your home, beautiful neighborhood, great food, but I just sense that you really love this place. You're very comfortable here. You fit this place like a glove. What is the thing that's most important to you in your leadership here?
I think the biggest thing, Coach, is our Chancellor, Randy Woodson, just has a way about him that's infectious that you want to be around, right? And he lets you do your job. He supports NC State athletics, but he believes in who we are, and it's a whole lot easier to follow that kind of leader.
Right.
And then we were able to come in, work on our culture a little bit. We got all our coaches to buy into the vision of who we are. And coming out of this, I would say we're actually closer than we were going into it, which in a difficult time is really saying something.
That's great.
Boo, you run this. Let's talk about the guy who runs that down there and the job he's done in his 9th season, Coach Dave Doeren. A historic season for the program last year, and now it's about expectations now. You got to manage those. How impressive have you been with the job he's done?
Really impressed, primarily because when you're out of practice, when you're in the building, you see the connection he has to our players, and you see the connection he has to the trainers and the equipment people, and when he walks by, he's part of it, right? He's the leader of the pack, if you will, in that building, and they're buying into it.
You're the leader of the pack. That's my team. You're the leader.
Hey, I'm good with
Alpha
that too.
dog.
I'm good with that too. You know, I'll take it.
It's such a cool setup. And we always talk about this when we have NC State games. The fan base is all in. You don't see that at every university and every program. We won't name names because everybody's great.
Sure.
But it's really intense here. What is it like to be a Pack fan?
You know, I think we're always believing in who we are. We're always buying into who we are. We want to be a part of it. You know, it's like bringing out the Slobber and Wolf. Our fans love being a part of that. Right? You know, maybe it was their time when they were here or what they grew up with. We owe them the story behind who we are, and they're going to keep buying into what it is, and we're going to keep going up. I love seeing the graphic with us beating. I'm not familiar with the name of those schools, but I know they're in the area. All right?
Well, Boo, on behalf of the group here, we appreciate the hospitality yesterday, having us at the home. You and your wife, Kristen, so kind of you. The ham and cheese sandwiches were incredible, and you found a hat that fit his big dome.
That's all that I care
And a Clemson guy's wearing it, too.
You know what? He was wearing it going forward, too.
That's right.
That's right.
That's great.
Clemson Twitter buzzing, Boo.
There you go.
That's Boo Corrigan, Boo. We really appreciate the time. But let's go to the field at about 45 minutes from kick. Coach Doeren talking with Coach Scott before they get rocking. Great respect between those two men. Show us some respect. Make sure you watch the huddle tomorrow. We'll be back on tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Set your DVRs if they still have those. Watch us live. Wake and Duke, and we got live reaction to UNC and Virginia Tech. Coming up next, Star Power continues to roll along here on the set. The Commish Commissioner Jim Phillips joins us here on the Huddle set. That's next. Welcome back in here to the Huddle. About 46 minutes away from kick. USF NC State ready to kick off what's going to be a magical season here in 2021. Carter Finley rocking. We're honored to be here, our Huddle crew, and we're honored to have the commish joining us, Commissioner Jim Phillips, here with us now. And Jim, once we started the show, we took a collective deep breath, smiled, and said we're happy to be here. It's your first go-round for a football game here as commissioner. How excited are you?
Incredibly excited, Jordan. I think we've all been waiting a long time. And it's great for the student athletes, most importantly, to have fans, to have some normalcy. It also brings our country together. We've been through some tough times over the last 18 months. Sport does it like nothing else, and the sport of football does it at a level that's unmatched.
Commissioner, you have talked about elevating the sport of football in the ACC. What does that mean to you?
Coach, one of the reasons I wanted to come to the ACC was because of basketball. Guys like this. Our history and tradition of the sport of basketball in the ACC. Our future will be directly connected to the sport of football. It's just a fact. It is. It doesn't mean it's going to be at the expense of our other sports. You can be great in football and really promote football, and it'll take everybody with. So that means 24/7, 365 days a year, we're concentrating on football, whether it's through NCAA legislation, whether it's through our network programming, whether it's what we're doing with our student athletes. Again, we offer broad-based programs in the ACC, 27 sports, so we're as good as anyone in any conference in the country. But at the end of the day, football has a chance to make all of our sports heightened and in a better place.
Football is an ever-changing landscape right now. How is the ACC going to continue to be a leader in this space with playoff expansion talk, alliance talk, some conference realignment talk? What does that look like for the ACC moving forward?
Eric, as you've covered the four of you so well, these issues we have, they come around once in a decade. To have all of this at the same time is just historic.
Congrats on being here to lead us through it.
But what that means is things that you just saw last week with the Alliance.
Yes.
Right? There was unstableness in college athletics with movement amongst institutions from one conference to the other. Usually what happens is then other expansion happens in other conferences. The three conferences that are really like-minded, value-driven, broad-based programming, all of those types of things all believe that the best thing was for us to settle things down, to come together, to work with everyone. It's not a boycott of any conferences or any teams, but a chance to really work together as 41 premier institutions and drive some of these things. Try to help drive change in the NCAA. Try to help drive change when it comes to things like college football playoff, etc. We want to be part of the solution and feel really good about what's occurred.
And Jim, I know this is obviously the kickoff for ACC football for our conference. You're a busy man. So where will your travels be taking you over the next couple of weeks?
Listen, I don't know whether I'm a commissioner or a fan this weekend.
You're both. Come on.
Both, exactly. So here, a great way to start. I put the pressure on Dave Doran and Boo Corrigan. The ACC must start 1-0 tonight.
We have to.
But tomorrow I'll head up to Blacksburg to see North Carolina and Virginia Tech, the first ACC game of the year, conference game. Saturday I'll head down to Atlanta to see Miami take on Alabama, leave about the third quarter, head up to Charlotte, cheer on Clemson as they take on Georgia, go to church on Sunday morning, and then head down to Tallahassee to see Notre Dame come in and play Florida State, and then finish on Monday on Labor Day back in Atlanta to watch Louisville take on.
How did you remember all that? How did you remember all that? You could have just given us a taste, Commish.
I wanted to ask for a buddy pass.
Yeah, buddy pass. Is there any room on the plane? I mean, what are we doing? The Jets.
Take all you guys with me. Come on, let's go. Let's road trip it.
Commish, you mentioned golf clubs, absolutely. You mentioned Clemson, Georgia. That one taking place there in Charlotte. Funny enough, that kicks off our season as well this weekend. Championship game of the conference will be played there as well. Pretty cool partnership that's going to be involved with that championship game. Would you like to share?
Absolutely, Jordan. December 4th, 2021. It'll be the gateway to what we believe will be access to the CFP. It has been for us traditionally. But we have a wonderful new partner in Subway. And so Subway is the title sponsor. It's a multiple-year deal. And the resources driven by that sponsorship will come back to our campuses, come back to the student athletes and their support. But really proud of partnering with Subway and having the first ever Subway ACC championship on December 4th.
I could tell you are fired up about this.
I am fired up.
Come on, baby. Just watch him during the game. He'll be pacing all over the place. I know there's not a Northwestern allegiance here, but now there is a conference-wide allegiance. So look for him pacing the end zone at all of these stadiums here moving forward. Commissioner Jim Phillips, it's so great to have you. We are honored to have you. We lost Commissioner Swafford when he retired, and we said, who's going to be the guy? We got a great one here with you and Commissioner Phillips, so we appreciate the time. Look forward to working with you through the year.
Thank you, Jordan.
Absolutely. Connections abound all over when you talk about NC State and USF. Take a look. Jeff Scott, a receiver and assistant coach at Clemson, going 13-2 against the Pack in his career as a player and coach. Cade Fortin, the quarterback for the Bulls' most recent collegiate start, came versus the Pack in 2018. And George Barlow is the cornerbacks coach of South Florida and held the same position from NC State. So let's flash it back to Cade Fortin's start for North Carolina when he played the Pack. He threw for 276 yards, but UNC lost in double overtime. And of course, that fight that broke out an ugly scene. Cade was asked about playing NC State.
Some guys have come up to me and asked me about it, you know, like, did you play at their stadium? Like, how was their stadium, all that stuff. But haven't really got into, you know, much of the details about, you know, the rivalry and all that. I mean, I guess, you know, for up in North Carolina, it's definitely, you know, one of those games that you look at on your calendar. But for us, you know, just focusing on us, on the Bulls this week, you know, and going out and trying to play our best this week.
I'll wait till you team me.
Cade Fortin has that familiarity with this Pack team, and his coach, as we mentioned, Coach Scott, has familiarity as a player and coach against them as well. How important is that, Eric, when you look at trying to shock this Pack team here tonight?
You know, there's not much that's going to matter. It's not his receivers. It's not his offense. It's not his team in a North Carolina team that he had that. So maybe a little bit early jump on study, Coach, you know, seeing that defense and knowing what defense they're going to run. But outside of that, Jordan, I don't think it's going to help too much.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to help either, guys. You talk about when you get a chance to play teams, you know, once, twice, 3 times in your career. Every single time you face a team, the defensive coordinator, he might throw a new wrench at you or something like that. So, you know, the tape that he has from the Carolina days, you can go back and watch it, maybe feel good about yourself, but tonight that's not going to matter.
Well, Coach Scott has that familiar feel because he, like I said, player and coach going against this program. Big smile from you, Coach, because you have a familiarity with Coach Jeff Scott. Can you share?
With Jeff and his family, you know, he was just a young boy in my house getting babysat when I was coaching with his father at Florida State, Brad Scott. Brad Scott opened the door for my career to come back to Florida State after I left to East Carolina University. And he allowed me to help coordinate the passing game. And my career would never be the same if it wasn't for him making that phone call to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool, a family affair, and he's got an uphill battle. I mean, first year was absolutely tough and trying to find a little bit of a rhythm this year. What are expectations for what he has in front of him, Coach?
Well, one thing he's got is a F in the name in the initials of his team. University of South Florida. That means fast. They're going to have fast players, but the other thing they did, I think they added like 29 new players to their roster through the transfer portal. So they're going to be a different looking team than that team that only won 1 game last year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. The guys on the call for this one, Dave O'Brien and Tim Hasselbeck, in the booth, and we'll have a chance to talk to them as we'll pop them up here. And in this game, Dave and Tim, a lot of it's going to focus on the running back production. Enlighten us.
Jordan, thank you very much. NC State, such a terrific place to kick off the college football season here in the ACC, on the ACC network, because every time we come here, Tim, and this is really special, to have live crowds back again, it's always a terrific crowd. They're wonderful, they're knowledgeable, they're into the game, and the expectations for the Wolfpack are so sky high this season.
It's always a great environment at Carter Finley Stadium for a night game, and the expectations should be sky high. This is a really talented football team, a team that Dave Doran really loves to coach. He said he's excited to come to work each and every day, and it's in large part because of the talent they have. You look at them, outstanding run game. I mean, you think about their running backs. They have 3 backs that are really, really good. Start with Bam Knight. Bam Knight is probably the best of the bunch, an all-around player, runs with power, great speed and vision. But he doesn't do it all by himself. He's the lead guy, but they also have other backs that are complementary in nature. Coming by the way of Ricky Person, Jordan Houston, a ton of speed. And then when you think about it, the guys up front obviously make it go. A tremendous group on the offensive line, guys with a lot of experience, kind of anchored in there by Grant Gibson. So when you look at this NC State offense, yes, they're excited about their quarterback, but it's really their run game that's going to get them going.
Emeka Emezi is one of those guys too. He's outstanding in the wide receiver core, which is actually very deep. And how about the big boys up top on that offensive line? That has been ranked maybe number 1 or number 2 in the entire conference.
Yeah, and when you look at it, it's because of the leadership of 50, Grant Gibson, who you see right there. They get a transfer in Chandler Zavala that's going to play left guard. Ike Ekwonu is a guy that's got an NFL future, who's playing left tackle. He's got a lot of starts under his belt. And so when you have a good offensive line, you have good talented backs, I think it makes you feel a lot better about a quarterback that, you know, is just returning from a broken leg. So a lot of to be excited about up front for the Wolfpack.
Cade Fortin will be the starting quarterback for South Florida. Now, last year they won only 1 game. It's building blocks for them. What does this game come down to?
Yeah, well, I think they need to not give up big plays defensively, and then offensively find ways to get the good, talented receivers that South Florida has, the football in space. So many new, players on this South Florida team, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how they mesh in this offense.
All right, they'll try and hang in there early on and make a game of it, but NC State is loaded, Jordan. You know that. Expectations so high, we cannot wait to get it rocking and rolling in front of a live crowd here in Raleigh tonight.
And Dave and Tim, we cannot wait to hear you two on the call in about 30 minutes. A reminder, thousands affected by Hurricane Ida urgently need support. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN and help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from this tragic disaster. On the other side, Pack and NFL legend Stephen Tulloch, kind enough to join us. Talking to our fearless leader, Aaron Katzman. Guy loves the camera too. Joins us next. Stick around. The Huddle back like it left something, and we are creeping towards kickoff. 31 minutes away. USF and the Pack. A look at Peyton Wilson. By the time he's done, he'll be known as a legend here for the Pack, the star linebacker, which is a perfect segue because we got a legend joining us now. An NC State alum, played 11 years in the league. An absolute great guy, too, for joining us here. Stephen Tulloch. And, Stephen, we appreciate you giving us the time.
Being here, absolutely.
Everybody's all smiles. You're all smiles being here now.
Absolutely.
How cool is it for you to be back as an alum and be a part of what's going to be a magical night?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling. We're the first recruiting class to take part in this stadium, so to be here today, retire from the NFL, now watching these guys play, it's a trip down memory lane for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve, you're from Miami, right?
Yes, sir.
Killian High School?
Killian High School, Cougars.
Hey, how did you get out of the state?
Well, you know how. It's a guy by the name Chuck Amato, Chuck the Chest, right?
That's right.
He came from Florida State, obviously, and came down to South Florida with Doc Holliday and took all of us up to Raleigh, North Carolina to help build this program.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
Now, Steve, I want to ask you about your entrepreneurship, things you've been doing off the field, Circle House Coffee down in Fort Lauderdale. Talk to us a little bit about that and how you're impacting the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Circle House Coffee, I founded it and created the brand in 2018. We give back to different charities monthly to raise awareness. This month coming up, next month is October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We love giving back. Circle House Coffee is started in Fort Lauderdale. We're expanding to our second location now. So looking forward to making an impact in the community.
That's incredible. What led you to do something like that? I mean, what was the goal? Was it a vision? What happened and you created this?
Oh, my mom. She's always been a hero of mine, always giving back, helping people. And so have the platform that I have to be able to give back and help people, something I love to do. And so I created the brand Circle House Coffee.
I love it. How about a little football, man? I want to talk about these linebackers, some of the best in the country.
Yes,
what are you seeing from these guys?
Well, I flew from Fort Lauderdale for this moment. I've heard about Preston Wilson, Isaiah Moore, and Drake Thomas, and all the hype that's been going on throughout the offseason. Great kids from what I've heard, and I'm excited to see, especially Preston Wilson. He's a man amongst boys out there for sure.
Right.
Well, I want to sneak one more in, Jordan, if you don't mind.
It's your show, man. You guys
how does NC State get over the hump? Like, when you think about this team over the past 10 years, I mean, they're always in the hunt. They're always in the hunt. When I played against them, they were tough. When you played here, they were tough. Right. So how does NC State get over the hump in the Atlantic?
I think Coach Doeren's did a good job of, obviously having guys coming back. We have a quarterback that's healthy this year, which is key to success of any team. He's the head of the snake, so to speak. So, the camaraderie's built there. Guys understand they're buying into the program. This is the year for us to get over the top for sure.
Yes, sir.
I smiled watching Phillip Rivers get his first win as a high school coach there at St. Michael's Catholic in his retirement.
Right.
I know you were able to play with him for a year, Stephen. Did you ever anticipate the future Hall of Famer would take that path with his career?
You know what? I didn't anticipate it, but I played against Phillip Rivers many years during my NFL career. Had the opportunity to speak to him recently. He talked about retiring and going into high school coaching. He looks good out there. I think he won his first game, so that's exactly where he wants to be at. He's happy, and so I'm happy for him.
Meineke Carr Care Bowl MVP. That's a mouthful. And you had a lot of moments along the way from 2003 to 2005. Favorite moment during your time?
I think that was that moment. I was a junior in college. Annabelle, our media relations lady, tapped me on the shoulder. Fourth quarter, Stephen, you're the MVP of the bowl game. It was a dream coming true to me. It was my last college game. I entered the NFL draft into my junior year, and 11 years later, I'm sitting on the stage with you guys.
Yes, Come on. Yes, well, there's no way we're letting him get off the set without making a game prediction.
That's right.
You got to give us a score. What's this going to play like? Like, you're the legend. Tell us what's going to happen.
Obviously, we have a good quarterback, and our defense is going to take us over. So I think right now it'll be about 24-7.
Yeah. Okay. I need more points. I'm an offensive guy. I want more points than that.
What do you got?
I can't tell you yet. I can't tell you. It's later in the show. Later in the show.
Well, Stephen Tulloch, we really appreciate it. The legend. The masses are gathering here to get a look at you on set, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Well, the revolving door of guests just keeps on humming along here. We are blessed because Scotty McCreery, country legend, Wolfpack alum, joins the set next. Stick around.
Great stuff, man.
Best, man. Really
you guys are good, man.
Thank you very much, man. That was great.
Appreciate it, big dog.
Appreciate you, brother.
You guys have a
great seeing you, man.
Yes, sir.
There was a true love in our locker room that was different. Every team talks about being a family. I don't think every team acts like a family.
There's so many weapons and so many people coming back. It's this linebacking core. I think one of the best in the country, if not the best.
Devin Leary.
24 minutes away from kickoff. Carter Finley starting to get packed, starting to get loud. Fans are excited for this moment. I can tell you by kickoff, there will not be an open seat in this building. Too much anticipation for this moment as the Pack looking to build off all that momentum from a season ago. A look at Coach Dave Doeren on the field. My man, all smile, 7-1 record in season openers, 7-0 record in home openers. So it bodes well for a team where they are heavy favorites here versus the Bulls.
Emeka Emezi, 47 catches, 738 yards last year, 5 TDs. The guy's a beast. 32 games in a row he's got a catch. He's going to get another one tonight, I promise you.
There we go, Big Cade Fortin, guys, quarterback for this USF team. Got a big arm, rocket launcher of arm. The key, though, is accuracy, EJ. Yep. Is he going to make some mistakes, really give this secondary from NC State a shot to get that ball back for their team? Going to be interesting to see.
Well, E-Mac, I'm going to tell you what, this next guy, if Cade is not accurate, Peyton Wilson's going to take advantage of it. He had 2 interceptions last year. He led the ACC with tackles, 108, 57 solo tackles. This dude is a tackling machine, man. He has an NFL body. I got a chance to see him at the hotel this morning. I'm glad I'm not playing anymore, guys, because this guy is a beast, and he's going to be a great player tonight.
He's the quarterback of the defense. How about the actual quarterback of the team, Devin Leary? 3-0 as a starter until, unfortunately, he broke that leg a season ago. A lot of buzz as he returns. Can he lead this team and keep them riding that high? For more on Devin Leary, our very own Kelsey Riggs.
Jordan, there's so much hype around this NC State football team, and a lot of it has to do with their quarterback, Devin Leary. The injury he suffered last year, obviously very devastating, but I had the chance to speak with him, and I talked to him about what the one word is that he would describe his journey. He says resilience. He says last year when he suffered that injury, it hurt him so bad to not be able to be out here with his teammates. He's all in on this. He said he flipped a switch, went to work, and was looking forward to getting back here with these guys. His roommate is another familiar name, and Peyton Wilson. Peyton said he just saw him work and work and work, and the confidence that they have in Devin Leary this year from top to bottom is really outstanding. I also had the opportunity to talk to some of these guys about the atmosphere. It's been over 640 days since they were able to have a home crowd like this at Carter Finley Stadium, and they are pretty jacked up about it. Everybody said the nerves not really going to be there, just sitting in, soaking up this moment and taking it in, and that's certainly what we've seen on the field pregame so far. The fans, they're soaking it up too. The fans behind me, the student sections, they were the first one here. They're ready. Dave Doran already made his rounds, went over there, said hello, and threw out some T-shirts. So Jordan, looking forward to seeing Devin Leary's comeback and the expectations they have, because they certainly are high this season.
Well, Kelsey Riggs, get in line, because everybody is excited to see it. They're coming in droves to see what Devin Leary and his pack have in store, especially coming off that historic season from a year ago. So, Eric, you tell me, what are legitimate expectations for a young man in Devin Leary coming off of a broken leg a season ago?
Well, he's going into year 2 in this offense with Coach Beck. So you have that familiarity. You have that comfortability where he's, okay, this is my offense now. I'm not learning and trying to figure it out. This is my offense, and then my guys at wide receiver who are back. So I expect him to be really sharp tonight, to be making great decisions very quickly and kind of knowing where his outlet is, okay? First option's not there, things breaking down, where am I going? This should be bang, bang for a quarterback like this.
And you know what, guys? Sometimes when a quarterback has an injury, it's the best thing for him. I said the same thing about D'Eriq King. You saw how intricate he was in the spring game. He called touchdown passes, all kind of stuff. And I think Devin's going to be the same way. The fact of he had a chance to get back into practice, get the rust out, get the kinks out, and now he can trust that ankle. He understands, like, hey, I'm fine. I got to go out here and rip the football. And he's going to step into it. He'll be just fine.
He's got Bam Knight. He's got the top 3 rushers back. That's the quarterback's best friend.
Yep.
Then he's got Emezi, who we've been talking about. He's a beast. 34 catches. He breaks the school record for receptions at school. He's got enough guys around him along with that line to have a great season. And the kid a year ago was superb as a passer.
Yeah, and your top 3 receivers, wide receivers return along with those top 3 backs. Now, Kerry Angeline is obviously a guy you'd love to have there. You do not. But there's a whole lot of continuity. 9 starters springing back should put Devin Leary in a good position, especially with 4 of them being offensive linemen. A good position, a great career, and enjoying his retirement is Philip Rivers, the former Pack legend. He retired this offseason after 17 years in the league. While with the Pack, he was an 03 ACC Athlete of the Year, and his jersey retired for the Pack. But now Rivers has found a new love, coaching high school football. Take a listen.
The process is the best. I mean, Thursday and Friday nights are fun, but it's the process is the best. It's the you know, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and figuring out practice and thunderstorms and that are coming up every stinking afternoon. You're figuring out if you're going in the gym, you're walking through, wading in mud out there. But it's the process that makes it awesome. And tonight was special. I mean, shoot, I'm looking over and Dad's standing on the track and Mom's in the stands. My boys are spotting the ball. My brother's here coaching. It's like, man, this has come, you know, our nephews and daughters are running around. I mean, nieces. It was that kind of night, you know, just to kind of think, wow, what's happened in 25 years.
It's my in-laws' Thanksgiving.
The Pack have had several quarterbacks make it to the next level. Some notable names: Russell Wilson, Philip Rivers, and former NFL MVP Roman Gabriel. Other NFL notables: Ryan Finley, Jacoby Brissett, and Mike Glennon. Our newest teammate, Eddie Royal, played with Rivers. Here was his thoughts on it.
Why was Phillip Rivers so good? His mental preparation before the game. He knew within seconds of coming to the line of scrimmage what the defense was doing. He could get us into the right play call, have us running the perfect play for that coverage, so we'd always have a successful play. What made it fun to play with him? Just his passion for the game. I mean, you can't fake that. That's something that he just has about him. His competitiveness, his drive, love playing with the guy. Why even change anything about him? Just keep Phillip as that quarterback. The other ones are good, but nobody's like Phillip.
Our newest teammate, Ed Arroyo, excited to have him a part of the squad this season. 17 minutes away from kickoff, USF, NC State, and the fans are here packing the place. And it's really interesting. There have been a lot of women posted up in front of us, and all of a sudden, they're very loud. There's a lot of them, and they're cheering Scotty McCreary, country legend, NC State alum. How cool is it being here right now?
Oh, man, I love Carter Finley in the fall, man. Nothing beats it, absolutely.
In terms of this team, so much excitement from last year, special things they've done. What are your expectations as a diehard fan for this team?
Man, I love the pack. I've been here, my first time coming here as a kid with my dad with season tickets. Phillip Rivers was our quarterback, and we've had a lot of great moments here, Carter Finley. I think this team has what it takes to do something special this year. Everybody's talking about that team in Chapel Hill, but I don't want to hear about it. There you go. Let's talk about the guys in Raleigh.
Come on, well, I want to talk about your decision to come to Raleigh. You hit stardom very early. Went to Nashville, could have went to school there, could have done the online thing. You decided to come here. Why?
Yeah, I was always going to go to NC State. That was a dream of mine as a kid, as well as being a country singer. So I started this when I was 17 years old. I was on tour with Brad Paisley coming out here to college, singing in front of 20,000 people and having a paper due at midnight. It was crazy, but nothing beats it, man, here. The kids, everybody here is awesome and made a lot of great memories here.
I guess you love NC State this big?
Bigger than that, brother, bigger than that.
Well, Scotty, obviously you're an alum. What makes NC State special? You talk about the crowd, the school, everything. What makes it so special here?
It's just a special place, man. I was born and raised here in Raleigh. The people here are amazing. We're die-hard, and there's no such thing as a fair weather fan here. Not a ton of fair weather comes through. So, you know, we're through here thick and thin. We love them. QBU, and I'll tell you, Thursday night in Carter Finley, crazy things happen. Crazy things happen.
Hey, Scotty, COVID changed a lot of people's lives, obviously, and it almost shut down everybody going to venues and things of that nature. Are you back amongst the people now? Are you playing in front of crowds now?
We're playing shows again, which is great to see. We did a lot of Zoom shows, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, which got us through it, but nothing compares to playing a show in front of thousands of people. They're clapping, they're singing, they're dancing, as well as I bet these football players playing in front of empty stadiums just doesn't compare to this. So we're excited.
Scotty, a new track, Carolina to Me. And the title speaks for itself and what this state means to you, what this program means to you. Elaborate a little bit about what that song means to you and how it came to fruition.
Yeah, well, if you follow me from day one, you know I love the state of North Carolina. My drummer jokes, once I retire, I'll probably work for the North Carolina tourism industry here. And I just love it. The beach to the mountains. If you're a recruit and you want to play football, I'll throw it out there. There's no better place to go. There's no better place to go.
Talk to him. Talk to him. I like that.
Well, Scotty, we appreciate it. Scotty McCreary, country star, proud NC State alum and fan. We appreciate it. Prediction really quick.
Man, I got the under. I'm in on it. I think 34-21 Pack.
Okay,
that's good. In front of the people in a while.
There you go.
Nerves.
Yeah. I like that.
That's
solid. Yeah, I like that.
Thank
you. Man, speaking my language over here, but we won't go too deep into that under conversation. Scotty McCreary, we really appreciate the time.
Good to see y'all. Thanks for having
my friend.
Yes, sir.
Show's rocking along. We got it going. The crowd's getting louder. Kickoff is nearing. The buzz, palpable. Saturday, Week 1 college football tripleheader coming at you right here on ACC Network and ESPN app. One tap. BC hosts Colgate at noon Eastern. UMass, they're in Pitts take on the Panthers, and at 7:30, Northern Illinois and Georgia Tech in our ACC Network prime time matchup presented by Geico.
NC State football defines its program with 3 words: hard, tough, together. Those are the daily expectations of this Wolfpack,
They made a promise to get more physical, and they certainly have. It's been a fun team to watch.
Our guys, they don't quit, man. They're tough.
Touchdown for NC State.
So, State fans, fired up for football season yet? But here's another question for you. After one look at the newest member of the pack, Tuffy III, should we add adorable to the list of words that define this pack? I'm not sure that being unbelievably cute helps with rushing the quarterback or opening up the offense, but that won't stop Tuffy from trying.
And Siberian Husky. It's a rare breed targeted in 09 to bring back a live mascot to the football field. Lisa and Joe Downey, owners and caretakers of all the university's live mascots since they were brought back. So Tuffy, as cute as can be.
Wolf, guys, I saw the video. You know, it was released a couple of weeks before we were here doing our spring tour. I'm like, man, that's a cute little puppy. I can't wait to see it. It's a full-grown, this dog, it just mauls my hand. That's a wolf, man. You got to be careful around animals.
Well, you're supposed to let it smell, get a scent of your hand first.
Look, that's
Coach, have you had any run-ins with live mascots in your time?
Live mascot story, okay? I don't know the name of the tiger.
Mike the Tiger.
Mike the Tiger. He was right there, and I'm the first one out of the gate. It scared the living H-E-double-F out of me.
Didn't expect to see a tiger when you took the field.
Oh, my gosh. It was crazy.
That could definitely shake you a little bit. We're a few minutes from kickoff, as you can tell. The crowd's starting to show up, getting a few minutes away from kickoff. Let's talk expectation of this game. Pack, a lot of expectation for the season. Heavy favorites here. Eric, what are you focused in on early out of the gate?
I just want to see execution at a very high level quickly. This team is experienced. This team is old. This team has a lot of stars on special teams. You shouldn't see a bunch of MAs. You shouldn't see a bunch of penalties. And I think that's what we're going to see from a veteran team.
Yeah, when you have an experienced team, you don't see a lot of MAs. You don't see a lot of false starts. You don't see a lot of holding penalties. Also, I just want to see the run game get ignited. You know, naturally, the quarterback is getting a ton of night. But I really think the running backs can really take off some of that pressure for him and, you know, kind of set the tone for the offensive line as well.
My final thought is when I turned around and saw these people in the stands and play the national anthem, I'm about to tear up. Then we can't forget this moment took so long to get here.
It really did, and we are here, and the fans are here. We're here covering it. Players are excited to play. Let's focus in on the players' side of this because we've got energy. We're juiced to be here at the desk. EJ, if you could put yourself in the pads for the Pack, heck, even for the Bulls, what do you think they're going through with this kind of juice inside them?
Yeah, when I came into a stadium like this, I always just took in the crowd, to be honest, just because don't act like they're not in here. Everybody is it's a bunch of people in here, and naturally you get excited. You want to go out there and play perfect, but at the end of the day, it's a 60-minute ball game. You've been practicing for months for this opportunity. Just take a deep breath and go out there and play ball.
When you look at the excitement, what it took to get here, JC, back in front of fans, I'd be juiced up, man. I cannot wait to watch these guys.
If there was going to be anything crazy to happen here, Bulls fans are watching, college football fans are watching the game. How could they do it, Coach, if USF shocks the world here?
Going back to what I said before, being from Florida, you're going to have fast guys, and speed kills in football. And they did bring in some transfers. Mature guys that can change everything for them. So if they get a fast start, get a little confidence, who knows what could happen.
Anything else you see?
State football team understands who they are. You know, you talk about the identity of Virginia Tech, the identities of other teams in the ACC. I think NC State knows who they want to be, and I think they're going to have the talent and the team to go out there and be who they are.
And that's what comes with having such a veteran team. Yep. You do know who you are. When we were here on the spring tour, you got to see how fast that they played. On day 2 of camp, they're ready to go. So I can only imagine right now, game plan, how excited they are.
Because you're heavy favorites here. Is that something you got to guard against as well if you're the Pack? Because you got to be businesslike in your approach here.
Well, I think you certainly remind your team, hey, that ball's not round. It can bounce weird ways, and we need to respect every opponent, understand the opportunity, and
this year, that'll show face in this game.
Yeah, I would say defense. I think naturally they always had a great defense. Peyton Wilson, to talk about the trio of the linebackers, I think it's big for those guys to step up and be the leaders for this football team. The offense is going to do their thing, but I really think defensively, if that's their keynote, that's going to take them throughout the entire season.
as a head coach, you just want to see them execute. You want to see them do the things they've been trained to do, under pressure, under pressure.
Yeah, under pressure. Last year, yearning, longing to be around each other, living on Zooms.
Yeah.
You guys, in your homes, going back and forth, vacillating between doing segments, popping back. It was a challenge.
Yeah. Yes.
The world's been going through a challenge.
Yes.
We need this moment.
I'm really impressed with what I've seen from this defense. I think they take over.
Yeah, I'm going NC State as well. I think
Great to be back, man. We're going to have one heck of a year. For now, I'm going to pass the baton. Dave O'Brien, NC State now.
Thank you so much, Jordan and Knight. The Bulls of South Florida taking the field at Carter-Finley Stadium, set to face the Wolfpack of NC State, where a big live crowd is greeting the Wolfpack, set to kick off the 2021 season. It is a season of tremendous excitement for NC State. The prognosticators, the analysts, they have this team picked very high in the ACC, and with good reason. It's a team loaded with talent, and the fans in Raleigh will feed off that excitement. They always do, and they cannot wait to get it rolling tonight. Well, many are saying if anybody has a chance to upset number 3 Clemson in the ACC, it's the talented Wolfpack of Dave Doeren. We are We welcome you to ACC Network Primetime Football. Passion and pageantry.
Don't want nothing but the real deal.
Shot out of a cannon to get this one up. We welcome you to ACC Network Thursday Night Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. USF and NC State set to play in front of a live crowd here in Raleigh. Man, does that have a great sound to it. I'm Dave O'Brien, alongside the former NFL quarterback Tim Hasselbeck. Kelsey Riggs joining us from the sideline. Great to see you, my friend, and great to be here. This is always a wonderful environment, and NC State is absolutely loaded.
You're right. We're both excited to be here. The teams are excited to be here. Great environment, and Dave Doeren's really excited because he has a good football team. You referenced their talent. It's on both sides of the ball when you look at NC State. You look at their linebackers on the defensive side. Across the board, maybe as good as any group in the country, and then when you flip it over and look at their offense, yes, they're excited about their quarterback, Devin Leary, but they have a great offensive line. They roll in 3 really good backs. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch on the offensive side.
And we'll get to the linebacking core a little bit later in the evening because, as you mentioned, both sides of the ball, a very talented team. So, Kelsey Riggs, no question, expectations are sky high here in Raleigh this season for the Wolfpack.
They sure are high, Dave and Tim. And listen, the fans are pretty excited about it. It has been 642 days since we got a normal home game here at Carter-Finley Stadium. And Dave Doeren yesterday was talking to his team, and he showed them a nighttime picture of the stadium, all filled up with people. He said the guys went absolutely nuts. You think about this freshman class and last year's freshman class, they've never experienced it. David Doeren told them the hard work they've done, this atmosphere, this moment, this is the reward.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. Well, USF has won the toss, and they will receive to get this game underway. These fans are absolutely pumped and ready to go to see Thursday night. Great to have you with us here on the ACC Network. So the Wolfpack coming off 8 wins last year, 7-3 in the ACC. The Bulls, very tough year last year, 1-8, 0-7 in the American Conference. As Gill gets a foot into it. And already a little bit of a...
No doubt about it. I mean, season opener, but then you think about the fans in place as well, Dave.
Well, Cade Fortin is the quarterback for South Florida. The North Carolina transfer. Played just a couple of games in 2020. In fact, his last start at quarterback came in 2018. It was against NC State, and that was an overtime defeat, although he threw the ball pretty well.
Kind of wild that 3 years in between starts, you know, here at NC State. But they're excited about what he can do for their offense as compared to a year ago.
In a 16-yard gain. So a quick start here for the Bulls. Taken down by Harris in the secondary. They pick up a fast first down. Felix in the backfield. Horton's going to throw over the middle and incomplete. Intended for Bryce Miller, the senior from St. Petersburg, Florida, and tipped.
When they're fortunate it was tipped, there was big play capability after that for Bryce Miller with the way the linebackers attacked that run action.
And a quick hit right at the line for a loss of 1. Joseph in on the play.
You know, and Cade Fortin is kind of running a bit of a speed option. They end up trapping him with the football, and really, if you're NC State defensively, you want Fortin to be the ball.
Down and 11. You saw Peyton Wilson, number 11, out of that linebacking core, and he's really the alpha dog. He frankly gets after it on every single play. Back to throw, Fortin, and short, and another big hit out of the secondary. And a loss of 7. Latrell Williams came on for the hit.
So basically it's a screen, and you see Pitts just running underneath, does a great job in coverage.
So Stokes back to punt. And a lock-up defense right away on display for the Wolfpack. And forcing the punt. And a fair catch on a 43-yard punt. So NC State will take over the football behind Devin Leary, who broke his leg in the first half of the Duke game last October. And he can really throw the long ball.
Yeah, he's got a strong arm, Dave. You're exactly right. And I think his leadership and his confidence are the things that have probably stood out the most to this coaching staff as well as his teammates.
His top back is Bam Knight. Where's number 7? And Zonovan Bam Knight will get that first carry. He's strung out to the sideline and dragged out by Christian Williams, but he's going to pick up 9. Zonovan Bam Knight, the go-to guy. Knight and Ricky Person are very complementary backs. Person, a very good pass catcher, but they play quite well off each other. From the shotgun, looking to throw over the middle and caught. And going to pick up the first down and complete to Thayer Thomas, the slot receiver. And they're going to go fast here on their first possession. It's Knight again, and he is stacked up at the line, but he will pick up 2.
And it's interesting to see so far. You've seen, you know, run game to start it off, get into some empty, then spread you out again. You know, it's almost like offensive coordinator Tim Beck is trying to just get a look. How are you going to respond to some of these formations we throw at you?
Second down and 8. He'll pick up nothing on that carry, trying the left side. And stopped by number 59, Andrew Mims. That'll bring up third down and 8.
You know, North Carolina State likes to see if they can get a good look at what the defense is bringing in a known passing situation.
Throws and it is tipped. And it is caught by NC State on the tip. And they're going to pick up the first down. That's going to gain 15 yards. You're going very quickly again. They'll air it out again, but incomplete. And look at this tip.
You know, and I think he's lucky. This ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. But there's going to end up being a lot of traffic there, especially with Dwayne Boyles inside. And really,
the sophomore from New Jersey got a little bit lucky. And the handoff again goes to Knight. He will gain 3 hard yards. Preseason all AC yards last year, averaged almost 5.5 yards per carry.
It's an outstanding back, and you've seen him run to the left multiple times. I do think that's the side that they want to run most often.
This is the 8th play of the opening drive for the Pack. Leary, good time again. Now he's going to roll. Looking downfield, over the top, and a completed pass, showing off that athleticism. Got it to Knight for 11.
That's an outstanding play, Dave. Moving to his left as he's, deciding whether or not he's going to be able to throw the football. Look at him just kind of slow his body down and then the touch to get. And I think, it's maybe an underrated aspect of Devin Leary's game. We talk about his arm strength. That's pretty good on the move.
Well, they've converted 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 7 on this drive. 1st and 10. Little pressure. He's going to fire. He's got a man and caught. In the end zone, it's Ricky Person for the touchdown. Well, an impressive drive here right out of the chute. A 33-yard touchdown reception by Person.
Good when they bring him into the football game and throw it to him. It's a really well-designed play and perfectly executed by the Wolfpack offense.
And offensive coordinator Tim Beck, he said they are speaking the same language. And they have taken a quick 7-0 lead.
NC State doing a good job putting a drive together. Back on top.
Well, Devin Leary very sharp, 4 out of 5, 62 yards, a touchdown. 33 yards set up, Tim, by. So South Florida trying to bring it out. Will be shy of the 20-yard line. Brian Petit.
It's just perfect timing of the play call. You got man coverage out here. You're going to pull that coverage, and what that's going to do is going to get Ricky Person on the wheel route, matched up on Boyles there, the linebacker, and you're going to get him in space, which is really where Leary obviously delivering a strike.
They have been raving about the strength of his arm.
And it's live. Watching him pregame, Dave, it certainly jumps out of his hand.
So the Bulls with their second possession. Jeff Scott, the head coach, in his second year, and completed and dropped.
That's a good job. Just a perimeter screen, Dave. They do a good job. Deciding to create some noise of his own with his pads.
Dave Doeren and 20 starters back in the fold for the Wolfpack. On top 7-0. Fortin throwing and incomplete. And intended for Latrell Williams, but off his hand.
And that's the second time, Dave, they've gone with some of this play action. They get a good reaction out of the linebackers, and they've got wide receivers open behind those linebackers, and Fortin has just missed it twice.
They ranked 102nd in scoring last season, 90th on yards per game. Getting into the end zone was a mighty task, and preventing points and pushing and shoving, but no flag on the play. And a coverage by Chris Ingram.
Yeah, and NC State is bringing pressure from this right side. Here it comes, and they're going to end up getting home. And I think Fort develop. It's a good job of disguise pre-snap and then getting to the quarterback.
So Stokes back inside his own 5-yard line to punt. And Thayer Thomas, one of the ACC's best punt return men, is back to receive it. And overran right there at the 45, trying for the corner and knocked out. 37-yard punt and a 3-yard return. Devin Leary timeline now. Most pass yards and touchdown passes in New Jersey high school history. 9th career start, missed final 7 games of 2020 with that broken leg. He is playing for his 3rd offensive coordinator in 4 years. That's tough sledding.
It is, and it sounds like the 2nd year having the same quarterback coach, the same offensive coordinator, has really helped. And so far off to a good start.
On the carry, it's Ricky Person, and for more on Larry, let's toss it down to Kelsey.
Well, guys, I had the opportunity to talk to Devin Leary about the injury that he suffered last year and coming back from it. He says the one word that stands out about his journey is resilience. As soon as he was injured, a flip. Peyton Wilson, one of his biggest supporters, the first one to run over him after that touchdown.
Well, it had to be a great moment. Had to feel like the weight of the world off his shoulders. It's Knight on the carry.
Donovan Knight is the ball
and
carrier.
before over, he has since transferred to Middle Tennessee. Leary returning to lead NC State to a pair of big road wins at Pitt and at Virginia.
Yeah, and really it was his job a year ago. And so I think things kind of derailed after that, and then obviously the broken leg.
3rd and 7 and incomplete.
And so, what has been really interesting, I think, for us, Dave, is we got to talk to the coaching staff and hearing from players. They've been really excited about him, his leadership, his work ethic. I think he's won this team over, even though he doesn't have a ton of experience.
A flag is down, and that punt will twist out of bounds, but a flag down. Dave Doeren put a priority on cleaning up what he called on flags.
Offside. Defense number 83.
Field. Look, the calling card for what you do offensively is run the football. Look, I would be okay with going for it here, and it looks like we might see that.
4th and 2, and they will. 7:21 to go first quarter. And Ben Finley is now in the game at quarterback. He's the backup, a freshman from Phoenix. Brother Ryan started NC State and then drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. And now he's a punter. And they're going to try and down this inside the 10. Keeps on rolling. And that worked awfully darn well. So a little trickery. In the end, 7-0, NC State.
ACC Network Thursday Night College Football is presented by delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve, and in part by Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
What a fantastic afternoon and evening to tailgate. Yard line. The Bulls will start this drive, 1st and 10. Jaron Mangum in the backfield along with Fortin. Now they got off to a quick start but then stalled. Some play action. He'll go up top and a long one and overthrown. And intended for the speedy freshman from Sanford, Florida, Jimmy Horn, who can really fly.
He can really fly, and he's wide open. Cade Fortin's coming off the play action. They get the safety to come out of the middle of the field, and he's wide open. If you hit him in stride, nobody's catching him.
Charlie Weiss Jr., who is the offensive coordinator, told us the offense will take their shots, even against an NC State defense they know is very athletic and very skilled. Fortin will keep it and roll to his right and slide on down. Isaiah Moore there for the stop. Isaiah wearing that coveted #1 jersey handed out to very special players by Dave Doeren. It's his 2nd year that he's getting to wear that.
Yeah, he's been an outstanding player here for Moore, obviously a huge part of that.
3rd and 5. And incomplete. Trying to get Latrell Williams back 3 and outs for South Florida.
Yeah, and I think South Florida has to settle Cade Fortin down a little bit. He's had probably on 4 separate occasions guys open. It was a good example there. It was like, hey, we check on offense South Florida. They're going to check. Then you read it out as a quarterback. Cade Fortin does a good job of getting through it, finding an open receiver, just needs to make the throw.
Fortin just 2 for 7 throwing the football so far. -5. Here's Thomas. He can be very, very dangerous. Looking to get through somebody, but taken down as he got across the 50-yard line. So some big games coming up. Key weekend matchups in the ACC. On Friday, you get North Carolina and Virginia Tech. Say hello again to the talented Sam Howell. Number 1 Alabama taking on number 14 Miami Saturday 3:30 on ABC. And Georgia and number 3 Clemson. That is the big one Saturday 7:30 on ABC.
I mean, so many good things too. And quarterbacks featured in the ACC in all of those games. You know, Clemson and their offense just reloading every year.
Clemson, the 6-time reigning, and stacked up. He'll gain 8 yards on that carry. And we will see Clemson next week. We will be there for the game against SC State. And it's always a pleasure to be there in Clemson, South Carolina. Well, the analysts love, and they can move some people around, that's for sure, starting with the center, Grant Gibson. Ricky Person Jr. with the carry, taken down by Townsend.
You know, and you mentioned the O-line, Dave. You know, and I think it's one of the things Dave Doran's done a really good job of here at NC State. Finding, you know, places for players to play, even if it's not their recruited position, having them embrace it and then thriving at the position.
Person again with the carry, and nothing that time. Yeah, Gibson is regarded as one of the nicest people on campus. ESPN has named him one of the 3 best interior linemen in America. The Sporting News has him 2nd team All-America. His dad Harvey served 2 terms as the mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina.
But you describe them as big, strong, and mean. I think that's maybe a better description, at least when they've got their pads on.
Yes, in game it's a different matter. 2nd down 10. Lear to throw, and a short strike. They get across the 30 and complete. Emezi with the catch, the 6'3", 220-pounder, the Wolfpack's top returning pass catcher. And back for his 5th season.
And he's had a really nice career. I feel like he's a player that, you know, this could really be a year where you know, kind of takes control. A little bit more mature, a little bit better feel in the offense, and, you know, more.
And shoved out of bounds, and a 7-yard pickup. And once again, it's Person. And stopped by Vincent Smoke Davis.
Well, and how about this? Watch the left tackle, Ikem Ekwonu. It's a little screen pass. They get him out into space. That's 320 pounds, just finishing somebody into the bench. That is so good. That's why he has an NFL future. And people.
1st down and 10. Gaping hole, darting out to the 15-yard line and taken down. And once again, they continue to run it with Person time after time, and Mims with the tackle. And they get into the red zone with him, tries the center of the line. Keglar with the tackle. They're going to lose 2.
Screen for 1st down. You get a big run on 1st down. You know, the defense not being set actually worked to South Florida's favor, defending that run on 2nd down.
3rd downs. Going for the end zone again, but that one overthrown. And intended for Rooks.
Porter Rooks, a good, talented young receiver that they feel like they can get stuff out of. He's got leverage, he's running the corner route, and you see how early Devin Leary throws it and really just misses it. Almost like if he could hold it a half beat, get a sense of the angle that Rooks is going to set, maybe had a better chance to complete that one.
So this will be a 34-yard kick by Christopher Dunn, the 3-year starter. Yet another area they have all sorts of experience, the Wolfpack coming back. It is in the air, and NC State flexing some muscle early. They have a 10-0 lead on South Florida. Our ACC Network Thursday Night Football Showdown. Dave O'Brien alongside Tim Hasselbeck and Kelsey Riggs as we look at the other games coming up on ACC Network over the weekend. Colgate, BC, UMass. So the Wolfpack to kick off again. And will sail into the end zone. And for more on the USF offense, let's toss it down to Kelsey.
Well, Dave, I was over here after that last series, and I'll tell you what, these guys still pretty locked in. Cade Fortin obviously overthrew that last pass, looked at his receiver and said, my bad. But he's got everybody from his offense. He stopped by and he looked at him. He said, hey, we've just got to relax. We've got to connect. Let's keep going. We're close.
But look at that. The last 9 plays, -2 after starting out with a 16-yard rush.
Well, and Jeff Scott is right, Dave. I mean, they've had guys open. They have just missed. And I think when that happens to a quarterback that is kind of a new environment, the excitement, the adrenaline, you have to find ways to get easy completions.
And from Mangum, and he's tied up immediately. No place to run and no gain on the play. Quite a story, though, for Cade Fortin to wind up at South Florida, part of that gifted 2018 group of high school quarterbacks, along with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields in choice. The coach got fired, and then Sam Howell became the star quarterback. So he 11th hour because he was headed to Syracuse. And again, no play.
Especially at the quarterback position where one guy plays. And if you were a highly talented, it'll be more common. And now he finds himself with his offense struggling. Backed up near the student section. It's going to be loud on 3rd and 10 in the passing situation. You're not surprised.
3rd down and 10 for the Bulls. Tanner Ingle with another tackle. He is super aggressive out of that secondary. In fact, they call him the Tasmanian Devil.
And ever since he stepped on campus, he has loved contact. And, you know, adjusting to the new targeting rules is more challenging for some players than it is for others, but he is not afraid of contact, and as you can see there, doesn't mind filling.
Against the Wolfpack wall. Thomas back for the punt. And so the Wolfpack will take over once again on offense with just 3 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and that means Leary coming back out. He's been very sharp early on here. A 38-yard punt and a 10-0 lead for the Wolfpack last year. 7-3 in the conference. They will be hosting Clemson on September up there against the Tigers. And we'll be taking on number 5 Georgia Saturday at 7:30. On his feet, Person trying to string it out to the left before he is stacked up. Eventually stopped by Andrew Mims. So that's the end of the first. And the Wolfpack getting off to a nice start. Couple of key 3rd down conversions, including one on a tipped pass that went their way. They have the football, trying to add on a 10-0 lead for the Wolfpack as we head for the second quarter.
The year off to a good start for quarterback Devin Leary. Sometimes it's helpful to be a little bit lucky, have your receiver go up and fight for the football, but good 3rd down conversion there. And then an excellent job on 3rd down, moving to his left, just changing ball speed. And then obviously on the throwback, doing a nice job of finding Ricky Person for the score.
He's going to roll right and immediately fire out, and a completed pass and a gain of 4. And Trent Penix, who's their H-back. He's 6'3", 235-pounder. You're the guy. Your team comes up with it.
Means you should buy lunch to that guy when you see him on campus later this week as well.
At least. 3rd down and 3. Person in the backfield again. He's been a workhorse early. He'll get the carry and a big hole. Person off to the races across the 40. Trying to cut back inside and taken down around the 30-yard line. Eventually stopped by Matthew Hill, but he ripped off a dandy. And 32 yards.
And it's a really good job. Penix is going to lead the way here along with the right guard, McMahon. It's just an excellent job of blocking. We saw Penix with the catch earlier, and that's just body on body, creating a nice running lane for Ricky Person.
Oh, by the way, he can catch the ball too. 1st down and 10. And that one fired out into the flat and will be incomplete. I want to welcome those of you who have been watching on ESPN. We welcome you to Raleigh, North Carolina, the home of the NC State Wolfpack. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, and Kelsey Riggs in front of a big crowd, a live crowd, and what a wonderful sound they have made throughout the early part of this game, Tim.
It's been fantastic. The energy in the stadium. Then clear.
Sky-high expectations for NC State this season inside the Atlantic Division of the ACC. The same division with the Clemson Tigers. Leary back to throw. He's been doing it a lot. Short, a flag down. Completed to Bam Knight, but a flag on the play. With 13:35 to go here in the second quarter. Taking on the USF Bulls, who won just one game last year. Dave Doran's team, 8-4, 7-3 in the conference last season.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 45. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the.
Officials seeing it in there.
Chandler Zavala, 6'5", 3 big things on the talented offensive line for the Wolfpack. And they will keep the. I mean, both of the primary runners, Bam Knight and Ricky Person, tough runners.
Tough runners, and the thing that I think really impresses me about Ricky Person is that he has so much patience. And you know, there have been good backs that have come in here that have been heavily and find ways to get himself on the football field.
Also caught a touchdown pass. Going to hand it off. He's going right back up the middle. Bowls his way into the end zone. Anderson has been the man here in the first half. He goes in from 11. And that will make it 16-0 Wolfpack. Well, the junior from Wake Forest into the end zone. Christopher Dunn on for the extra point. Person already with 107 total yards and 2 touchdowns, Tim.
Yeah, and it was an excellent job of the guys up front. Again, it's Trent Penix, the former tailback, leading the way. He does an excellent job of coming across the formation, leading the way for Ricky Person. And from 11 yards out, the Wolfpack offense continues to do damage as Person is in for the score.
Thursday night football presented by Dr. Pepper. And from Raleigh, South Florida, NC State kicking off again. And they'll try. He's across the 30-yard line and then scampers out of bounds. Nice return of 33 yards.
And you think about it, this North Carolina State offense has really been rolling. Devin Leary's done an excellent job of spreading the football around. So you find Ricky Person in this offense.
Yeah, 4 drives. They've scored on 3 of them. Little oxygen there for Person.
You know, Tim Beck joked he's been here long enough that they're going to name a doormat.
USF only 1 first down. That came on the very first play of the game when they kept it on the ground, trying a trick play here, but that goes absolutely nowhere. NC State really sniffed that one out as we go down to Kelsey.
Dave, Person getting some oxygen on the sidelines, but I don't think anybody's worried about him. He's still pretty jacked up. Made sure to make the rounds, all of his offensive linemen, before he sat down to take a quick breath. Everybody really impressed with him, and like you guys said, no shocking surprise here. He's been here for a long time. He knows this offense, and he's getting the job done early.
Well, the Bulls head coach Jeff Scott knows a lot of pressure on Cade Fortin that time, and incomplete, intended for Xavier Weaver.
And again, you know, Fortin has him. The protection gets blitzed, and so he's got to get the ball out quickly, and just isn't able to get through the fake and get the ball out in time. I think he does have Weaver.
And a man down for the Wolfpack, and possibly a cramp. And that's Tanner Ingle, the free safety. We're going to take a break. 11:49 to go here in the second quarter. We were talking about Jeff Scott, the 40-year-old head coach of the Bulls. His father, Brad, coached at FSU, South Carolina, and Clemson. And Jeff's 70-5 record with 2 national titles as the Clemson co-offensive coordinator under Dabo Swinney. And Brad Scott is his son's chief of staff at South Florida. And Bulls linebacker coach Ernie Sims was an All-American at FSU, so very strong connections to Florida State, too.
Florida State, Clemson, the ACC, obviously very familiar with this conference.
Got it out into the flat to Felix, and a flag is down again. 11:42 to go here in the second, and 17-0 NC State. But a flag.
The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Donovan Jennings, he's a senior, one of the 5 returning O-line starters for the Bulls. A penalty. So Stokes, the big Australian, to punt it. 6'5", never played.
Wild. It's absolutely wild, and he's getting his work in early on this one.
He sure is. And then a big punt. Thomas going to let this one sit down to Kelsey.
Well, yeah, I got to catch up with Brad Scott before the game and talk to him about he was 11 years old when he decided I want to be a coach. And Brad told me that has a lot to do with not just being around him and his coaching, but also Bobby Bowden and what he meant. As far as Brad being on the sidelines with his son now, he said he couldn't be more proud. He feels like he's 100 times more prepared for the job than he was, though, when he was a head coach at 39.
Leary looking for the long ball going downtown, but incomplete. And another flag is down. And the Bulls have been piling up the penalties all of a sudden.
Pass interference. Defense number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
On Daquan Evans. Bobby Bowden, a great coach, of course, and people all around the country are honoring him. FSU honoring Bobby. Notre Dame and Florida State Sunday at 7:30. That game on ABC. I'll never forget when we walked into Dabo Sweeney's office when we were doing our due diligence for a Clemson game, and there was Bobby in one of the big chairs just sitting and talking football with Dabo. Breakaway here by Bam Knight to pick up another one, and that goes for 21 yards. Lost his shoe. Running right out of it.
He was running right out of it. And just to finish that thought, Dave, on Bobby Bowden, there's no doubt that was a neat experience for us. And obviously, you know, the imprint he left on college football, the ACC, obviously. And then you just see kind of the offshoot of head coaches and assistant coaches around college football today.
Larry on play action. Looking long again, has a receiver open, but that's going to be intercepted by the Bulls. That was intended for Thomas. And picked off by South Florida, and Matthew Hill with the interception. The Auburn transfer with the pick.
It is, and really, this ball's just underthrown, and Matthew Hill, you referenced the Auburn transfer, a former wide receiver, does a good job of going up and getting the football as Thomas is waiting for it to arrive, and you're one of the few misfires we've seen from Devin Leary, and that one costs him.
Sophomore from Lawrenceville, Georgia, with the interception. Jeff Scott over 2 years has 29 transfers to his program and feels that as many as 18 of them could be impact players.
In the secondary, and Matthew Hill's a big reason why.
On the keep, it's McClain. He is the backup to the backup. The freshman, and they pick up 6.
And I think this is a move you had to make. I don't think this is, hey, one play and you're out. I think Timmy McClain is going to stay on the field here to try to get a rhythm going, do something different with quarterback runs, and just not something you can really do with Cade Fortin. The offense struggling.
Before he runs out of bounds, McClain, just a freshman, led Sanford Seminole High School to the 8A state title as a senior. They went undefeated, so he knows about winning.
Yeah, and it's just something different to defend, Dave. We've seen 2 quarterback runs in 2 plays. You know, not something that they're going to major in with Cade Fortin, and I think that, you know,
first down of the ball game, right up the middle, it's Felix, and he stopped. South Florida attempting to get something going, having more success all of a sudden. Peyton Wilson with a tackle. Wilson really the star of the NC State defense, which is expected to be an exceptional defense. The sophomore from Hillsborough, North Carolina, really the star and the alpha dog. This is their first time across midfield for the Bulls.
Yeah, and sometimes he's a young quarterback. There's a lot you don't know, but sometimes ignorance is bliss. You just kind of keep it simple.
On 2nd and 8, going to keep it on the ground again. And it's Felix again with the carry to bring up 3rd down.
And I think here, at 3rd and 2, I think this is already 4-down territory. And so I think at this point, everything's on the table, and even have a 4th down call ready right now.
McClain on 3rd and 2 with a handoff, but the Wolfpack saw that.
Back, and as I said, I think with what's happened offensively, this has got to have it situation for South Florida.
And a flag. with 7:49 to go here in the second quarter. 17-0 NC State.
Offside with contact. Defense number 5. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, those are the kind of penalties that really got under Dave Doeren's skin. As we mentioned, a big priority to.
I will say, when you're not positive that he thought that he did, it is hard to get.
Oh, they're going to take him down for a loss. Felix on the carry. NC State with their.
And Isaiah Moore, 32. Drake Thomas. I mean, just guys flying to the. He basically needs to back them down at times, but they are playing downhill, trusting what they see and flying around.
Good luck backing them off, too. Still no passes here for the Bulls. Second down and 16. McClain. He's going to roll again. Still on his feet across the 40, and man, he took a hit. He got stuck. 6.
Yeah, we're talking about these linebackers flying around. We've seen McClain do an excellent job running with the football already. Scramble drill situation. Here comes Drake Thomas. Go force him back inside, and boom! There's Isaiah Moore to clean it up. That's a really, really good job of playing team defense and flying around.
Third down 10. Bulls trying to keep this drive alive. They're 0 for.
NC State takes their first charge time out of the half.
6 minutes to go before halftime here at NC State. Back in Raleigh, 17-0 NC State. They have a crowd of 50,000 or so tonight, but just to see them live and rocking and rolling is a great sight.
It's been a lot of fun to be here with them, and they certainly were excited to get in the stadium.
Third down and 9, and dropped by the quarterback, and McClain had to fall on it. Peyton Wilson was there quickly as well. A little scrap for it. That'll lose 8 yards.
It just can't happen. You have third and 9. You have a chance if you get some of it back. Maybe you're in 4-down territory. Snap was a little hot, a little off to the right, but you know, as a quarterback playing in the shotgun, you've got to be a bit of a shortstop at times, Dave. And I think that's one Timmy McClain probably should have held on to.
Well, so it dies right there. It was the best drive of the game. 7 plays, 4.5 minutes until that moment. As he came in for Cade Fortin, the starter, because the offense had completely stalled. So Stokes on to punt. Thomas back inside his own 10-yard line. And the Wolfpack eager to get the football back again. A high and short one. Going to let it bounce. And so the offense back on the attack. That punt for 32 yards. So Leary to get the football once again. Devin Leary, the sophomore from New Jersey, broke his leg last year in the first half of the Duke game in October. But the coaches have been raving about him throughout camp. Not only the coaches have been sky high, every teammate you talk to has been sky high about him.
They've been really excited to see him come out and play, and I think that, you know, his confidence, his work ethic, all of those things have impressed everyone around him. And I think the other aspect of it is, you know, he kind of doesn't seem to get flustered easily, and great opportunity here to respond from a mistake.
Van Knight with a carry on first down, and for more on Leary, let's toss it down to Kelsey Riggs.
Well, you guys are talking about his confidence and some of the improvements he made after that injury. When I spoke to him, he said top to bottom, this is the best his body has ever felt. He wanted to lean out, gain some good weight. He did that, about 5 pounds, but also said studying film and taking a step back from the game, it humbled him. It made him appreciate it even more, and you could see him just as even-keeled as ever on the sidelines after that interception.
Yeah, he definitely looks in full command. He has been picked off here. Going to stay on the ground, and a great big carry across the 30-yard line, and spinning now is Knight, still on his feet. And it took 2-3 men to bring him down, a 26-yard pickup. And it was Daquan Evans finally dragging him down.
Yeah, it's a really good job. Look at it. It's basically elephants on parade. Basically all the offensive linemen moving at the same time. Just an outside zone play. Look at the movement. Ikem Ekwonu does a good job of just getting great movement, and then obviously you need guys blocking downfield. That's a really good job of Emeka Emezi working for his running back.
Good luck taking him down on the first hit, though. And stumbling ahead once again, it's Knight with that possession. He'll pick up 2 yards on that carry.
Brought down by number 5.
NC State trying to get into the end zone again before halftime. 3:36 to go. Taking on the South Florida Bulls, who are picked to finish last in the American Conference. Cincinnati was chosen number 1. Second down and 8. Knight in the backfield. Leary wants to throw. Pocket collapsing, and he's going to be tied up. And a loss here of 7 for NC State. That has not happened very often tonight.
No, and really it was pretty good pass protection. You know, Bam Knight does a good job with some edge pressure coming, picking up a block. Leary just didn't like it down the field, gets stuck holding the football. And you know, I think in this situation, up 17, just inside 3 minutes, if you're smart with this drive, you know, obviously you don't give them the football back, and you know, sometimes a sack is the best play.
3rd and 15 for Leary. Out of the shotgun. Trying to step up now. He'll throw it. And caught out of bounds. There is a flag down in the backfield. So we've seen a lot of those here in the second quarter. But another flag down.
Holding. Offense number 56. That penalty is declined. It is 4th down.
Bryson Spees, the junior lineman. Guy they really move around. He's a Swiss Army knife. 12 starts the last 2 years at 3 different positions. So the Wolfpack and Trenton Gill to punt. 2:33 to go here in the second. Xavier Weaver back to receive, and he got this one off. A booming punt and a fair catch. Outstanding punt there by the 3-year starter Gill. 57 yards with that one.
The struggle for the South Florida offense has been real. Running the football has been a challenge. Getting the ball out outside on the perimeter. You see that swarming defense from NC State. Little trickery to get something started. Guys staying at home. Then you bring in a new quarterback, and on a critical 3rd down, can't handle the snap. See if Timmy McClain, who's still in the game, can get something going.
Yeah, they'll stick with the freshman. And attempting to move the football, that has been a giant task. He's going to go up top with a long throw. Has a receiver. It's tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. And that one intended for the speedy freshman Jimmy Horn. Nearly a spectacular play, freshman to freshman.
It's nearly a spectacular play, is right. And if he can kind of lead him up the field more and not turn him back against his body, I think Horn's got the ability to go run underneath it. That's the second time they've had Horn, you know, running free or nearly free. Just weren't able to deliver the right throw.
Look at that offense. 0 passing yards in this game. And there have been some open receivers. It hasn't been a case of everybody getting shut down. 2nd and 10. And McClain back to throw again. Around the 1-yard line, trying to scamper out of there now. And he was dragged down as he got it free and incomplete. Drake Thomas was all over him. Thomas with the pressure nearly dragged him down in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen McClain's speed, and you see the speed of this NC State defense. Big, tough, physical linebackers, but they can run, and you know, I think that ball gets past the line of scrimmage. I think it's the right decision, and I think got to be really careful here. Just outside 2 minutes left in the half. NC State's going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they're 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 10 on the short reception. Trying to get it across the 15-yard line on the dive. And it was Horn again. A Felix with that reception. Fourth and 2 coming up here for the Bulls. Inside 2 minutes. And all Wolfpack here in Raleigh tonight. South Florida, their offensive coordinator is Charlie Weiss Jr. And you talk about a guy who grew up in football, the son of a legendary head coach who did so many things at so many places. And in Charlie's case, only 28 years old, is one of the brightest young minds in the coaching game. 4th down and 2 and a timeout. Charlie is up there somewhere. He's a new dad too. Recently celebrating the birth of a baby boy.
And we were really impressed with him, talking to him. Obviously knows a lot of football, been around a lot of football, and you know, it's hard as a coordinator if you're designing guys to get free, you're just not able to make the throw and hit him. And this has been a really interesting situation here. I get that NC State is up 17-0, but you know, it's a 4th down. I was a little surprised Dave Doeren didn't take a timeout. You know, with about a minute 54 left, 52 I think it was actually, and just give yourself a little bit more time with the football, expecting probably a punt from South Florida, backed up so much.
Schrader back to punt. Thomas at the 45-yard line and got up another good one. The punting game on both sides has been pretty darn impressive. They'll be down by South Florida. That goes 61 yards.
Yeah, when you look at the left side of this NC State offensive line, they've been fantastic. I mean, you know, Dave Doeren said they are big, they are mean, they are nasty. They've also looked pretty athletic, and I think it's been impressive to see. You know, they run a zone scheme for everyone moving together. They've run a gap scheme, which is a power scheme, and that left side and middle, look at, that's where they want to run the football. And you know, we're saying left side. I feel like we need to include Grant Gibson in that. You take the center over to the left, Dave, you got about 950 plus pounds right there of just big, mean, nasty, athletic offensive linemen. That's where they want to run it.
Leary throwing short. And a completed pass here to Person, who has been the workhorse of this first half for NC State. And a flag down on this play with 1:05 remaining in a half.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 17. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And that's the nose tackle, Blake Green.
Yeah, and you see, you know, Blake Green, who's being blocked kind of at the top of the screen as Gibson is finishing him, and here he comes. And I mean, listen, I'm sure it was a pretty good shove. I maybe would have gotten pushed that far, but Grant Gibson, evidently a pretty good actor as well.
6'1", 305. There to air it out, has a receiver wide open as they take another long shot, and that was Devin Carter down that far side for a huge gainer that goes for 51.
That's a huge gain, and that ball is absolutely ripped by Devin Leary. Left hash, throwing a vertical to the wide side of the field. That is how you attack all areas of the field. That was a big-time throw. I'd like to see Carter stay in bounds once he had it.
Yeah, so would he. I think he was very upset with himself. 1st down and 10. They have a chance to get it in again. They're going to go for the end zone, and incomplete. And that was Carter again. That one off his hands.
As you see it, I mean, Carter's out by the numbers. Defense is looking inside, and that ball was thrown from the left hash. That's an excellent throw. I think Carter has got to stay in bounds. Instead of letting the ball come to you and catch it at your waist, you know, hold your stem, hold your vertical stem, catch the ball and stay in bounds. And quite honestly, on that next 1st down throw there, that back shoulder fade was another beautiful throw by Leary that you'd like to see Carter come down with.
Yeah, Carter with the reception on that previous play. Leary's the man in motion, a Wildcat. Person will keep it. He's up the middle. He pulls in again. Touchdown, NC State. That's the 3rd time for Ricky Person. Let's see, did he get across?
Tell you what, it is close. He does a good job of keeping his legs moving. Gets that right hand down.
Is under further review.
So they're going to take a look. If it does hold up, he'll have 2 rushing and 1 receiving touchdown, 130 total yards, but they're giving it a look.
Yeah, it's pretty cool play design. I feel like back in the Penn State Trace McSorley days with Saquon Barkley, you'd see some of that motion the quarterback out of the backfield, kind of catches defense a little off guard. And I tell you what, with that angle, because we're a little bit behind the play, I feel like, yeah, he's in clearly. This angle in front of the play from the end zone, it looks like that at some point, I don't know, maybe that right knee isn't down with the South Florida defender's hand under it. And I just don't know, Dave, that you see enough that you could overturn it based on it being called a touchdown.
From that angle, I would agree with you, Tim. That's really hard to tell. Ruling on the field is a touchdown for Person. They've had no answer for him whatsoever tonight. And that may be true throughout the ACC when the conference games get underway. And give it another look. Did the knee drop as he got to the line?
He does a good job, and running backs always drill that, kind of hand on the ground, kind of do a good job finishing.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So Ricky into the end zone for the 3rd time. 23-0 NC State. And Dunn will be on for the point after. 3 plays, 77 yards. And give it to number 8. He's going to find the end zone. .48 seconds left before halftime here in Raleigh to make it 24-0. The Wolfpack.
Yeah, and offensively, that's a pretty impressive drive there. You get the ball back with under 90 seconds left in the half. Quarterback makes a huge throw down the sideline, another response, and then a creative play down in the red area. Motion of the quarterback out of the backfield, and then Ricky Person, you said it, there's been no answer for him. Passing game, run game, and I feel like that happens a lot when we watch this NC State team, because they have so many talented players. Who is it? Is it Bam Knight? Is it the receiver group that's going to have the biggest impact? And Ricky Person, who I think just continues to find ways to be a guy that they want to rely on, clearly delivering with his opportunities.
Well, Leary with a very impressive first half. Remember when Carter caught the 51-yarder? That was the 7th different receiver he has hit in this first half.
You gotta love that. We asked Tim Beck about who he needs to get touches, and I think he feels like with what they do offensively, the offense will distribute the football if the quarterback's making good decisions, and clearly Leary has been.
Jimmy Horn trying to come out of there with it, but no place to run. ACC Network halftime report coming your way with Jordan, EJ, Eric, and Coach Richt, and they'll be joining you right here from Carter Finley Stadium. If you're watching on the ACC Network, if you're watching on ESPN, you don't get to see these guys, and it's your loss.
It's a big-time loss. I want to see an EJ dance. I want to see Coach and EMAC dance a little bit.
Do you really? You really do? I think I do too. Actually.
What about Jordan? Jordan could probably dance a little
Jordan
bit.
can cut a rug, to use a very old guy phrase. 42 seconds left before halftime, and the gentleman will be on display. Darian Felix in the backfield. They've had to go to the backup quarterback here, and Timmy McClain in the second quarter, and flags down here. 38 seconds to go. And Dave Doeren has to be delighted with what he has seen in the first half.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 45.
Not that
15-yard
necessarily.
Penalty, automatic, first down.
That's on Van, the freshman, middle linebacker. And a 24-0 lead for NC State in front of the fans. This is always a raucous and boisterous environment. We really enjoy coming in here to do games in the ACC. Any chance we get in the night games, really a blast, and you got a terrific fan base, and they're very knowledgeable. And they know they have a darn good football team. As McLean will wind up and throw the deep ball. A lot of contact and a catch made on the play by Weaver. So that's a big gain. That'll go for 44 yards on the pass.
And you can see why with these receivers who the coaching staff at South Florida love. You just need to give them opportunities. Give them a chance to go up and make a play on the football.
Timeout.
You know, Xavier Weaver is a guy that, you know, he's got good speed, he's got good size, but he's got an excellent catch radius. And, you know, you mentioned there's some contact out, you know, down the field. There's some hand fighting. That's a good job of locating and tracking the football and making a play. And that's a huge play for South Florida.
Yeah, finally some passing yards, too. They have 48 in the entire game. 48 passing yards and 44 just came on that toss.
Listen, it's going to feel a lot different if you can go into halftime without a 0 on the scoreboard for your offense.
Jeff Scott, 40-year-old head coach, highly respected offensive coordinator and recruiter at Dabo Swinney's all-world program at Clemson. By the way, no mistaking the desire to make South Florida's culture as much as possible like what Dabo has accomplished at Clemson.
Not a bad one to copy, I'd say.
Yes.
Right?
I would say go that way, young man.
It's a delicate balance because you don't, you know, you a bunch of eye rolls when you talk about your former school, but it does make sense.
McLean back looking to throw again. He fires to the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Williams, who went sailing out of bounds and into the drummer.
And you can see that he actually comes down with this football again. Give him a chance, and then plays a little snare drum after that, Dave, I think. There, what do you think?
That's a heck of an effort, though. Something that wouldn't have happened last year.
No.
Nobody there. We love this version. 23 seconds to go. Second down and 10. Felix in the backfield. Testing again. That's going to be thrown incomplete into the end zone and nobody home. He wanted Latrell Williams again, but that'll bring up third down and 10.
Yeah, and with, you know, with a defender in his face, not able to kind of pull that football down to get it where Williams could make a play on it. And I've kind of been impressed with what I've seen from playing. Just kind of come in here. You know, he's not getting a lot of the reps, certainly not getting 2-minute drive reps to come in and make as many plays as he's made so far.
They haven't gotten in the end zone, but he's looked confident. The rookie takes the snap. Pressure on him. He steps up and fires, and that one is going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Drake Thomas. And a pick for the Wolfpack in the final seconds of the half.
And right as I give him a compliment, he just panics. Great pass protection from South Florida. Look at this. It's just three-man rush. He's got all kinds of time. He's looking around. You know, he drops his eyes. And when you drop your eyes and then come back and try to remain a passer, things like that happen. Really no one near Drake Thomas, who comes up with the interception. I'm not exactly sure where that ball was being thrown other than to Thomas.
Thomas, the 6', 240-pound sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina, with his first interception of the season. So 11 seconds to go before the half. NC State with a 24-0 lead against South Florida. Knight gets the handoff. He takes off, breaking back inside. Usually takes several men to bring him down. That's the case again as he crossed the 30. And we'll have a 26-yard gain. And it's saying 1 second to go before Antonio Greer took him down.
In 25 yards, and another Wolfpack
So it's gone to 0 here, and that is halftime. NC State to receive the second half kickoff. A 24-0 lead, Tim.
A really impressive first half by the NC State football team on both sides of the ball. We talked about their talent. You know, I think we've seen the talent on both sides. Obviously, offensively, that offensive line doing the work they've been doing, the backs. And then defensively, those linebackers just absolutely flying around. And while it hasn't been a perfect half for Leary, still been a pretty good one.
Heck of a half for Ricky Person, 130 total yards, 3 touchdowns. NC State dominating on both sides of the football. And the Wolfpack with almost 300 yards. Let's go to Kelsey with Coach Doeren.
Coach, we heard all offseason about Devin Leary and what we could expect from him, how even-keeled he is. What do you think about his response here in the end of the game?
I like how he came back. You know, he had a couple poor drives. He missed a wide open receiver early, and then he had the interception. Thayer was, you know, as a touchdown. And he bounced back. He went 1-0, which is what we talk about all the time. Just proud of how he got that touchdown down here. It was awesome.
And on the other side, your defense has been suffocating this entire time. What will your message be to them at the half?
Yeah, they've been fun to watch. They're flying around. You know, we're tackling pretty well. Starting to figure out their personnel. Like, we didn't even know who the heck was playing for them in some of these spots. So we got to get in there and talk about what they just did, how we want to adjust. Just play 30 more minutes the right way.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you. Go back.
No negatives there, that's for sure. He's a very happy man. His team is going to be a lot of fun to watch. After this short break, Jordan, EJ, Eric, and Coach coming your way. The ACC halftime report on the way next.
Welcome into the ACC at halftime report. All packed early on as they lead this one, 24-0 over USF. Take a listen. The crowd here, Pack Nation loves it, and for very good reason. I'm your host, Jordan Cornette, Erica McLean, EJ Manuel, Coach Mark Richt. This is the first action we've seen from the conference so far. First action, of course, we've seen from the Pack. Your impressions in the first half?
I'm loving what I'm seeing from those big boys up front, guys. They look fantastic. The run game is there. Yeah. You got to love what you're seeing from those guys.
Yeah, I love it, E-Mac. You talk about the offensive line, setting the tone, and also the quarterback. Devin Leary's doing a great job divvying out the passes to his receivers, coming down with 50-50 catches. They look really good. They look really sharp right now.
How about the 1-2 punch of Person and Knight? Over 100 yards apiece of total offense. Those guys are kicking butt right now, taking names.
Coach, and how about us giving all the love to Zonovan, saying, hey, look, there's a three-headed monster back there. Right. But Ricky Person is saying, hey, don't forget about me, y'all. Yeah. And he is playing out of his mind right now.
How about 167 rushing yards in the first half for the Wolfpack, already surpassing a first half high a year ago from 156 yards. Devin Leary, how about impressions from Devin? Coach, what did you see from him?
You know, other than the underthrow post, he had a post for a touchdown. He underthrows, he throws a pick. Other than that, pretty flawless game, I would say.
Yeah, well, look, I think the receiver, what's his name, Christopher Tuttle, had the play of the game, guys, at least in the first half. This catch right here off the tip pass. And look, I'm a quarterback. When you tip that ball in the air, it's usually an interception, but when your receiver comes down and gets that catch for you, you got to take him out to dinner after the game.
And you love, that's right, you love to see the play design that we just saw that touchdown there. Roll everybody right, get everybody's eyes going right, and we're just going to have a little running back squeak out of the backfield.
Great play call. Yeah,
it was fantastic.
A defense that returns 10 starters. Do they look the part of a defense that has consistency?
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are fierce at the linebacker level. You see who's leading them in tackles, Big Isaiah Moore. Right. He's just such an alpha dog, and we saw that in camp early, but now you get to see it on the field, guys. He's commanding this defense so well and just kind of saying, hey, I'm going to set the tone. Everybody follow me, and that's what NC State's done.
What I love is the number of hats to the ball. That's what defensive coaches want to see. How many of those defensive helmets are in the screen by the end of that play? And it's just about every single one of them.
Yeah, we said this game be won in the trenches, and that's exactly what's going on. The defensive line for NC State is doing a great job getting through the point of attack, trying to get on the rusher. They're doing an excellent job.
South Florida has had opportunities. Yeah. They missed a post down the middle for 98-yard touchdown, missed another post. They've got to hit those plays to give themselves a chance.
Yeah, well, this defense, Cade Fortin coming in. We talked about the familiarity he had having started a game for Carolina and faced this Pack defense. 0 passing yards for Cade Forden in the first half. So this defense,
that's a bad
without
day.
question, doing their part. All Wolfpack in the first half as they lead 24-0 over USF. When we return, we set the table for what's going to be a wild weekend here for the ACC. That's coming up next. Carter Finley rocking.
Do it.
Welcome back to the ACCN halftime report live here from Carter Finley. Halftime pack lead USF 24-0, their largest halftime lead versus an FBS opponent since 2018. 3 great games on the lineup for this Friday. The Blue Devils, David Cutcliffe squad, heads to Charlotte to take on the 49ers in their opening game of the season. That game kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern. Also, the Demon Deacons hosting Old Dominion with that game taking place at 7 p.m. Eastern on ACC Network. Be sure to tune in to all the action. And, of course, the Tar Heels and the Hokies doing battle in Blacksburg, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Let's take a look at the predictions for the conference and the games taking place this Friday according to ESPN's Football Power Index. Wake Forest, the heavy favorite over Old Dominion. Duke is given a 64% chance over Charlotte. Closest matchup of the day, UNC and Virginia Tech. The Tar Heels given a 56% chance to beat the Hokies. Let's start with Wake. EJ, me and you were there. We got to hang out in Winston-Salem. Really impressed with what we saw. Are the Demon Deacons flying under the radar?
You know what, if they are, I don't think Coach Clausen's upset about it, guys. I think at the end of the day, he wants them to be the best-kept secret in the ACC. We had a chance to be there on the ground, watch them offensively. The defense was getting after the offense, but I got to be honest, Sam Hartman and some of the throws that he made, they were NFL-esque throws. Like, they weren't just hitches and slants off the RPOs. They were down the field, posts, comebacks. He did a great job in the red zone, so I was really impressed with what I saw from the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, I think Hartman is probably the most underrated quarterback in the league.
I agree, yep.
And I'll say this. I think Coach Clausen is maxing out that program.
Absolutely.
I don't know how much higher they can go because he's taken them to, what, 5 or 6 bowls in a row?
5 straight, yeah.
Breaking school records in scoring. I mean, the guy's done everything you could possibly do there.
He's a fantastic coach, a 3-year starter, Sam Hartman, going into his 3rd year. This offense is going to be electric. We've seen the playmakers. We've seen the offensive line, the running back, Christian Beal-Smith coming back. This team's going to be really, really good and explosive offensively.
Well, what's life going to be without Boogie Basham? That's the big question.
That's right. That's a great question, Coach.
Hey, we got all weekend to talk about and digest all that stuff, but let's focus on North Carolina, Virginia Tech. One of the marquee matchups of this weekend. How important is this game coming up on Friday, EJ?
Well, it's extremely important. I don't think it's the most important game for us in the ACC. It's the first conference game. I think the Clemson-Georgia game is really a statement game. Miami-Alabama is a statement game, but this is an important game for both teams. When you look at it, across the board, Carolina's going to have Sam Howell. I mean, I think the biggest thing for Virginia Tech, try to get a pass rush to get him off this spot, try to rattle him a little bit. Maybe the crowd, like they're doing here, and Carter Finley can get over and try to, make it louder on 3rd downs and red zone situations, make it a little harder for UNC offense.
And here's the thing, that this is going to set the tone for the Coastal. I mean, if you're Virginia Tech, 100%. You want to find a way to really jump out in front, go beat Carolina, go beat who's expected to win, but it's going to be tough when you have an offense like that, Coach, in Carolina.
Yeah, well, I think it's the biggest game in league play, obviously, because it's going to make a big difference, as you say, who's going to load up with Clemson if they get by NC State.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
We're here at NC State, but I think that game is huge. I think Virginia Tech has got a lot of advantage in that home field, and I think they're going to win that game.
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be really interesting because Virginia Tech is looking for that identity, getting back to that identity. The Bud Foster era, Beamer Ball, we understand it was special teams, it was defense, most especially defense. They got to get back to doing it. They'll be challenged with Sam Howell. And it's North Carolina new. I mean, new going into Blacksburg, knowing what Lane Stadium presents. It should be really fascinating to see how this game plays out. Fascinating to be surrounded by the fans here at Carter Finley. It's been a wild first half, an impressive one for the Pack as they are cruising, leading 24-0. Enjoy the second half. We'll see a post game right here on the Huddle Set.
Welcome back to ACC Network Thursday Night Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. And tonight from Raleigh, the Wolfpack having a tremendous time. The student section, they've been roaring all night, and they have a whole lot to roar about with a 24-0 lead. This is going to be a really fun team to watch, and Ricky Person is going to be a blast to watch.
He sure is, because they got good guys up front, and he knows how to run. I mean, he's got power, he's got great patience and vision, and they use him well in the passing game also. So 3 scores in the first half. He's been outstanding, as have this Wolfpack team, really on both sides of the ball.
Well, he has 3 touchdowns, including a receiving touchdown. So you talk about an all-purpose back. And the Wolfpack will have the football again and trying to bust one out across the 25-yard line before he is brought back. Let's get down to Kelsey Riggs.
Well, I just caught up with Jeff Scott and asked him about the decision to pull Cade Fortin in the first half. He said that was not part of their plan, but they felt like this offense needed a jolt, and they got that with Timmy McClain. They said they'll stick with him in the second half, and his message at his team was, look, a lot of these things that happen are self-inflicted wounds. We didn't give them all of these opportunities. We need to clean it up. They did not earn them all. Let's focus on what we can do, and it will be Timmy McClain at quarterback for them here in the second half.
Kelsey, thank you very much. There is a stoppage here. There's a flag down back around the 41-yard line.
The kicking team had 2 players of number 4 during the kick. This is illegal equipment. 5-yard penalty will be added at the end of the run. First down, NC State.
So illegal equipment. A lot has gone wrong for South Florida tonight. There's another one, as NC State will have the football to begin the second half. 2 number 4s. Look at the left side.
Here and here. Can't do that. That's Christian Williams and Marion Dollison, the wide receiver, covering the kick.
And a quick strike here.
Devin Leary's pass is complete.
Leary's pass is complete to Emezi. And a 12-yard pickup. And Bam Knight will take this one. Darts off to his left for a nice gain. So it doesn't seem to matter which back is in there. They do damage. LaPointe finally with the tackle, but that's a 14-yard gain.
And it's because of the work the guys are doing up front. Look at the movement, which gets Bam Knight to the line of scrimmage before he's got to make a move, and it's certainly a nice little cut.
Handing off again. And Boyle, who is certainly the leader on the South Florida defense, the senior out of Miami, with the stop on Bam Knight. And a man down for the Bulls. That is Blake Green. The NC State backs, they're a tight-knit group. Look at this. Bam Knight and Ricky Person sharing the water bottle.
You're copying us, Dave. You know.
Injured man is up, and Blake Green out of the game. As we come back to you and Leary, back to throw, stepping up. Wants another long one, and incomplete, overthrown slightly. Keanu Sane trying to make a diving play for that one, the sophomore.
Just a little double move to Lassane, and sometimes you just come out of it a little slower. In fact, not a double move, just kind of inside fade. And I think the interesting thing, one of the things you can learn is you see that ball kind of land out of bounds, is like giving your guys a chance to make a play on it. It's that long foul ball. It sounds good, but give him a chance to make a play on it, because right there, you can't even get his hands on it.
Yeah, a couple of overthrows. He'll dump this one short. And it's Knight getting away from one tackler and nearly a second on that sideline. He'll pick up 4. 24-0 NC State. Early moments of the third quarter. And Jim Phillips, the brand new commissioner of the ACC, will be joining us in the booth. He'll be here with Tim and I in just a bit. Get a chance to welcome the new commissioner in on the ACC network. He's got a tremendous resume, unbelievable resume, which includes coaching in college basketball. And so on the punt. And they're going to down that at around the 6-yard line. And it was Riley with the play and the punt by Trenton Gill. So 1st and 10 coming up here. Right around the 6-yard line for the South Florida Bulls, trying to get something going offensively. And man, that was a chore for them all of last year when they won just one game. They have switched quarterbacks. Cade Fortin started the game, just got shut out. And they went to the freshman, Timmy McClain, out of Sanford, Florida, 6'1", 195 pounds. And he has taken over since the 2nd quarter and trying to get them rolling. On 1st down and 10, it's McClain again. And nothing doing into the interior line there. Total stop and a loss of 1. To bring up 2nd down and 11.
Dave, it just continues to be a good job of this NC State defense, getting those linebackers playing downhill, making plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and a continuation here in the 2nd half what we saw in the 1st half.
Absolutely nothing opening up for South Florida. Not in the passing game, not in the running game, not yet. And McClain's going to look to throw short. Throwing that from out of the end zone, and a completed pass to Bryce Miller. That'll pick up 8 yards.
I'd expect South Florida here, Dave, to do something to get Timmy McClain on the move. Just to do something. He's been the spark for their offense. Getting him moving around is probably the best chance of converting here.
The 3 wide receivers set up to his right, and he looks that way, and he's going to flip it. And once again, NC State will snuff that out and shut it down. It'll pick up just 2 yards. And Isaiah Moore probably wears that number 1 for the 2nd consecutive year. That is a very, very big honor that Dave Doeren doles out. And to do it 2 consecutive years tells you the high regard that this program holds him in.
Yeah, he's been a leader, been a heartbeat kind of that defense. He's done an excellent job, and I think it means something to those players too when they're awarded that number.
So South Florida to punt again. Stokes, the Australian, who's been pretty impressive in the kicking game, and a fair catch. So the Wolfpack in excellent field position. When we come back, the commissioner of the ACC, Jim Phillips, will join us in our booth here in Raleigh. Back in Raleigh on the ACC Network, Dave O'Brien along with Tim Hasselbeck, and we are delighted to welcome in the brand new commissioner of the ACC, Jim Phillips. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Dave. Great night of opening football for the ACC, huh?
It really is. And we were talking about this, Tim and I, as we came on the air, how much fun we have every time we come to Raleigh. You're going to get a boisterous, you're going to get a raucous kind of environment for these night games. It's great stuff.
It really is. Dave's got them prepared tonight. But isn't it fun to see the students, student athletes, the fans?
Yeah.
We've missed this so desperately
Big
over
time.
the course of the last 18 months.
Big time. And you'll see the student section there, and just to hear those voices, because it's why you're in sports, it's why we're in sports. It's because of the sound of that crowd. You know, it keeps drawing you back.
There's nothing like college football pageantry, right? We heard the band earlier, the pomp and circumstance, the tailgating, the reuniting of friendships that folks haven't seen each other for a while. There's nothing better than college football, and what a beautiful night here in Raleigh to welcome what looks to be a really good NC State squad.
Yep. Player down here for South Florida. We're going to continue our chat with Jim Phillips as they attend to a player down for the Bulls. How has it gone so far for you? Still relatively new to the job in all respects, but how much are you enjoying it?
It's been great. It's one of those aspirational moments that you're not sure you could ever make, and you think you have a really good assignment, and then you get into it and it's even better. It's been so much fun. 10,000 student athletes, 15 great schools, 27 sport programs. I mean, you have it all in the ACC. Great academics, great athletics, but a lot of work to be done.
The one thing we can say is that when you are involved in the search to be selected as the commissioner of the ACC, no one has to explain what a great job that is. You know you want that job.
Well, I thought I'd be at Northwestern forever. I really did. I've been there 13 years. It's home. I'm one of 10 children. We have 5 children of our own, and we never thought that we would leave. But when the ACC calls you, it grabs your attention, and you got to go.
You know, you mentioned, you know, the different teams, the student athletes. Got to be a sense of pride, too, with how everyone is kind of handled getting back out on the field. You know, schools hosting fans in the stands. Just the job that each of these ACC schools has done to get to this point.
I give an awful lot of credit to our presidents and chancellors, and then the folks that executed, our athletic directors and their staff. It is a monumental task to put on an event like this, and in these times where safety really is heightened awareness and a huge responsibility for every campus. So my hat's off to all of our programs across our footprint. And, you know, this is the start of what we believe is going to be a great year for ACC football.
And when you talk about a lot needs to be done, so much of that focus is on health and safety and making sure that when fans come to a place like this, they are going to be healthy and taken care of.
It is, Dave. And we've learned a lot about the virus, right, and now the variant, but we still don't know everything. And so there is such caution for all of us. But I think we have a great a plan. We've been led by the medical advisory group, and that's the top doctor on each of our 15 campuses who've come together. Cam Wolf, the doctor at Duke, has kind of chaired it, and they've been brilliant in leading us and telling us on how we can move forward in football and all of our sports this fall.
Yeah, and with just this week ahead, I want to know your travel schedule. I mean, because there's a lot of exciting ACC football back there.
Down the line, there goes Bam Knight, and he is off into the end zone, and another touchdown. This one a 46-yard romp for the Wolfpack.
So you're going to be off and running like Bam Knight, I think.
I thought I had a broadcaster schedule like you two guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be in Blacksburg for North Carolina and Virginia Tech, the first ACC conference game. Saturday I'm going to get to Atlanta to see Miami and Alabama, and then in the evening I'm going to run up to Charlotte to see Clemson and Georgia.
Wow, man.
Get to church service on Sunday morning, and then head to Tallahassee for Florida State Notre Dame Sunday night, and then finish on Monday with Louisville against Ole Miss.
Who puts together your travel schedule? That's unbelievable.
I'm blaming former Commissioner John Swafford, who I love and adore, for setting up this kind of weekend schedule that I have to kind of go through. But no, it'll be fun.
Couple looks here on a run by Bam.
And I said, Bam, you know, running like you're going to be running this weekend to all those games, but it's been a lot of fun. You mentioned, you know, this NC State team, you know, kind of sneaky good. Like, we've been impressed talking to Dave Doeren, his coaching staff, and seeing some of these players really on both sides of the ball. He's done a nice job with this program, and you know, we've enjoyed watching them, and we also get to look at, you know, kind of the schedule ahead, and certainly a lot of fun for ACC fans.
It's hard to imagine a conference that's playing a more important weekend to start the 2021 college football season.
Sure. Look at that. Alabama, Miami, Georgia, Clemson, of course, Notre Dame, Florida State, and the Ville up against Ole Miss in the Chick-fil-A kickoff. So some great TV coming up. You're going to see most of these games in person, but you know, for the rest of us, we'll be watching on television, and it's a terrific way to launch. I don't remember a more exciting start to the ACC football schedule.
Hard to imagine that there is a better start with the teams that we have ranked, the excitement of the season, so really looking forward to it.
So, Jim, when you take the job and you just kind of look at the ACC landscape, is there something that you feel like, well, I want this to be one of my first big priorities, you know, in the conference, to really something, that an area where you think we can improve?
Well, I love the sport of basketball. I'm a former, early in my career, basketball coach. One of the reasons I wanted to come to the ACC was basketball, but our future will be directly tied to the sport of football. And I'm not interested in anything other than upgrading all of our sports, but the focus has to be on football. We have to be intentional with the decisions we make as a conference to really try to enhance and elevate the sport. And I think we can do that and take all of the sports with us, basketball and including all the others that we sponsor in the ACC. It's important, and we have a great group of coaches, tremendous group of student athletes, great facilities, but we have to elevate that, and that means facilities, it means our programming, the network, the ACC network, which obviously we love and have the greatest partner in television with ESPN. There's lots of different ways, legislation, etc. So our commitment is to football and all of our sports, and it's one step at a time.
I'll tell you, we walk into the NC State facilities, just their football office. And if any fan got a chance to do that, it blows you away, the level at which they mean to compete, and right through their facilities. And I know you want everybody in the conference. And a big catch made here at the 45-yard line. That goes for 29 yards. So finally, the Bulls trying to move the football. But that's something that I know you want to see for every one of your schools in this conference.
I think Tim salivates, you know, every time he comes through a place like NC State and our other schools that have really invested in a strong way for the sport of football. And it's something that's going to carry us forward. You can have great coaches and student athletes, but they have to know that they're training in the best facilities with the best staff surrounding them.
Mitchell Brinkman, a tight end, 31 yards on that jump pass.
I think you make a great point with it, Jim, about football leading the way, and obviously with some of these schools, it's shared resources, whether it's in weight rooms or training facilities and things of that nature, and so they do kind of pull each other along at times. And I know that as we travel around these ACC schools, the facilities have been very impressive, and I think continuing to do that obviously continue to have an immense impact.
Well, we enjoyed it. It's the great side benefit of this job. It's covering the games, covering the student athletes, the coaches. It's wonderful. But getting a chance to go into Clemson, for example, and see where the guys can play wiffle ball during lunch, right inside the football facility. There's nothing they can't do and don't have access to. It's pretty incredible. And a big pop and flags down as Mitchell took a nasty hit after the catch, after a 4-yard pickup and a flag down on the play. 31-0 NC State. And Jim, you mentioned that this could be a really, really good football year for NC State. How much of the fan in you sits around and does stuff like that, sits around and looks at rosters and what coaches have done recruiting-wise and make your own projections?
I don't know if I'm great at projections, but I am consumed with rosters and recruiting and coaches.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 24. That play is under further review.
I think it all adds to your responsibility as the commissioner to really dig in at the very ground level and know the student athletes. I had a chance in the spring to visit all 15 schools and spend a day, and the highlight at every one of those campus visits was that opportunity to be with the student athletes. I mean, they're just amazing. They're inspiring. These are brilliant students and tremendous athletes that are also committed to community service and outreach and helping those less fortunate. I mean, I think that's why we all love collegiate sports the way we do.
Has there been a moment, so far where you've come in and you've identified whether it's been a problem or something good where you thought, okay, this is going to be exciting, this is going to be fun to be a part of, and it hasn't been a ton of time and we're just kicking off a football season, but has it been that moment yet?
I think the first day I took the job. Really, I mean, this is an incredible conference. Yeah. When you think about the history of the ACC, nearly 70 years old, and the maturation and the growth,
review,
it's
there is no
just
foul
phenomenal.
for targeting. Number 24 can remain in the game.
All right, so no targeting against NC State. How much do you pull from your coaching days into this job as the commissioner of the ACC?
I think it helps. I really do. I had the football coaches on a call yesterday, in fact, and it's kind of the last one before they started the season. And I think they appreciated the first thing. It was supposed to be an hour-long call, and I thought to myself, there's no way a football coach the week of their first game wants an hour with the commissioner. So we made it about 20 minutes. So that's a little bit of insight of my coaching background and how I think I understand some of the modern-day coaches.
It's a very good job of editing.
Brilliant, actually. Absolutely brilliant.
3rd down and 4. McClain looking for the end zone, and they're going to be short, but another flag is down. As the receiver is pushed out of bounds, that's going to pick up maybe 4, but a flag on the play. As we chat with the new ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, kind enough to take time out of an incredibly busy schedule to join us here.
I think we're going to get offensive pass interference there. It's back in your coaching days, Jim, that was a pick in basketball.
Screen pick.
They call it a rub in football a little bit. Either way, it's not legal.
6:59 to go here in the 3rd as they huddle over this flag here in Raleigh. And it's been a big night for NC State on top 31-0. Really impressive on both sides of the ball. And Dave Doeren, who was interviewed at halftime by Kelsey Riggs, had nothing but plaudits for his team.
Pass interference. Offense number 18 blocking downfield. Pass across the line of scrimmage. 15-yard penalty, repeat. 3rd down.
Tim, you never missed that one.
No, I didn't think if Jim wanted to hire another official, you know, maybe send my application in.
I feel like he's got plenty.
He's good? Good, because I'd be a terrible official.
We got 3rd down and 14 here for the Bulls, who are just trying to get points on the board, but that has been rough sledding, to put it mildly. It's just 3rd down and 19 for South Florida. And this has been a baptism by fire for the freshman Timmy McClain out of Sanford, Florida. He was a state champion, never lost a game his senior year. He's back to throw again, and he's on the move. He'll fire that one, and it's intercepted by NC State. That's going to be the 2nd pick of the ball game. And picked up by Cyrus Fagan. And a return of 19 yards for Fagan, the FSU transfer. He's a playmaker.
He's really elevated the competition in the secondary for NC State. And Timmy McClain, you can't throw late across your body back into the middle of the field, kind of, you know, checking all the boxes of what you don't want to do, especially down in the red zone. And as you see him moving to his left, Fagan just does a nice job of reading the quarterback, and that's trouble doing that, and good run after the catch.
Jim, we want to thank you for taking the time. It's been a great visit and covered a lot of ground, and hopefully you'll have the time with your schedule. I'm not sure with your schedule, maybe to join us again. But thanks so much and congratulations.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah,
appreciate what both you guys do.
Thank you. Jim Phillips, new commissioner of the ACC, in the booth with us here tonight in Raleigh. 6:10 to go here in the 3rd. And a 2nd down and 3 coming up after the interception by NC State. And the Wolfpack trying to add on some more. Leary's still in the game. He'll fire that one complete on the near side. And they're going to pick up a 1st down. And Mezzi with another catch. And some folks were here in the booth watching some of the pregame, and they were watching Mezzi work. And one guy said, that guy's going to play on Sunday. He looks like he's playing on Sunday.
Well, I tell you, they have a lot of receivers that look the part, and I think it's just a matter of getting their production to kind of match the expectation of that receiver room. And, you know, look, we've seen this offensive line moving people around. We've seen the way the backs have run. And if you can get the receiver room to kind of elevate their play, it's going to end up being a really dangerous offense.
Person with another carry as he picked up 7. He continues a big night, closing in on 100 yards. His 39 receiving as well. Leary looking again, and will find him once again with a hit as he gets across to the 50. Boyles with the tackle, but another 1st down. And moving the chains again.
I just love the versatility, how well-rounded Ricky Person looks. I mean, in the passing game, the run game, you know, they've talked about him in the past as a short yardage and goal line runner because he's tough, guy that's good in pass protection, but looks like it's a good idea to send him out in the route.
Julian Gray, the freshman from Charlotte, in at a wide receiver. And we're going to try and get him in a little bit tonight. He's a 4-star guy with great speed. Wearing the number 20 for the Wolfpack. Leary with a pump fake. Looking long. And a battle there. Oh, did he come up with that? There's a flag down and a catch by Emezi. And a sensational catch on the dive for 39 yards.
Really, he's not, doesn't do a great job of separating.
Pass interference.
But, he's being interfered with.
That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Yeah. Daquan Evans is interfering with him, and it looked like Emezi maybe had control of it. I don't know if they'll look at that one.
Gonna get the play. And a run by Person. Person trying to find the end zone yet again, but not this time. One more look at that catch.
Yeah, you see the hand fighting. Oh.
What do you think?
I think Emezi gets away with one, but he's been a nice player here. And I think, one of the things you do is you act like you caught it. You hustle your offense up to the line of scrimmage to run the play.
You get points for acting like you caught it. Well, he's caught 5 for 71 yards. 31-0 NC State trying to punch it in again here. Fairly late in the third. They're going to keep it on the ground and spinning inside once again for a 2-yard pickup. And we'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Wolfpack as Penix comes out. Larry looking to find the end zone once again. On 3rd down, 4 of 8. And under 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Looking, firing. Touchdown! On the money to Gray, and we just called his number moments ago. Chris Tootle actually making that reception.
And Tootle's a converted wide receiver to tight end, and you see good receiver skills there. That's a nice job. Devin Leary working to his left, coming back to Tootle, is coming across that ball right between the 2 and the 9.
So Leary with a strike. 210 yards and a couple of touchdowns for him, and the extra point is good to make it 38-0 NC State.
Devin Leary continues his hot night. Good job of finding Chris Tootle in the back of the end zone, and Wolfpack rolling.
Well, the Wolfpack piling it on now, leading 38-0 over South Florida late in the third quarter. Yeah, we'll kick off again. And South Florida still trying to get into the end zone or get something on the scoreboard. And they're going to try to run it out of there, and an ill-advised effort as a swarm of Wolfpack players will meet him inside the 5-yard line. Thousands are affected by Hurricane Ida, urgently needing your support. You can donate right now at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from this disaster. We certainly hope you will dig deep and find a way in your heart to help. So many people have been desperately affected.
Yeah, some of the images have been hard to see. We've seen, games get rescheduled and moved because areas have been devastated, and so
Kate Fortin back in at quarterback. So he returns to duty after Timmy McClain could not move the team into the end zone. And look at his field position as he gets back in action after a long sit. And Felix, he's going to be bottled up. Jackson will handle him, and no gain on the play.
One of the things about this NC State defense is, you just look at some of the big guys up front. I mean, that's Savion Jackson at 290 pounds. They're really big with their defensive linemen, and, they're hard to move. And because they're hard to move, that then allows, Peyton Wilson and Isaiah Moore and Drake Thomas to run around. And, I think they've done a good job of recruiting the type of players that they want on that side of the ball.
2nd and 10. Forden to throw. And complete to Dollison. Omarion Dollison, sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina. And picks up 10. So a first down for the Bulls. They haven't had many tonight. And under 2 minutes to go here in the third in Raleigh. Cade Forden, the North Carolina transfer. Last game that he started was against NC State while he was a Tar Heel. And that was an overtime loss. He's going to keep it and try the right sideline as he scampers out of bounds. He will gain another first down. That's 11.
And I think you can learn a lot about a quarterback, Dave, in situations like this. You start the game, it goes poorly. I think he started 3 of 9 for 0 passing yards, and then he gets pulled. You know, his backup comes in, has some success, but then you find yourself back into the game. What can you do, kind of, you know, show your emotional and mental toughness to your football team by coming in and responding and playing better football than you did to start the game?
It's got to be very, very tough as he hands off to the interior line. They go again, and a gain of 2. And a carry by tackle by Keyshawn Smith, and Felix with the run. Got to be very difficult, Tim, because you go through all of the hard work of winning the job and winning it over a couple of guys like Jaron Williams, who has started before the ACC from Miami, and Timmy McClain, the very talented freshman we've seen a lot of here tonight. But you won the job. It's your job.
Yeah, and so the expectation, all you've thought about is, yeah, I can't wait to get this start and play well. And you know, it didn't get off to that start, and they needed a spark. And I think Jeff Scott, you know, did the right thing by making the quarterback move. And so, you know, it's hard to do that as you see, you know, kind of the struggles on offense. Now, I think in part, Cade Forden won the job probably because of what you see down here. You know, the interceptions. You want to eliminate mistakes, give yourself a chance. And, you know, he didn't hurt them with turnovers, but he just didn't make some of the throws when they had designed guys open. So, but again, I think responding in this environment can show your team quite a bit about you as a quarterback.
South Florida 0 for 11 on 3rd down. And a sidearm toss. That's a tough catch in some traffic, too. And they do finally get one.
This is a great example of exactly what I'm talking about. You just got benched. You came back into the game. Stand in there, take a hit, and make a throw to get a first down. Things like that, when you go and you watch the film and the rest of your team sees it, they'll appreciate it. And, you know, it's something that you can grow with.
Difficult catch by Miller, but a 3rd down conversion. That's the end of 3, 38-0 NC State. Well, the NC State faithful, they have been into it tonight, and why wouldn't they be? With a 38-0 lead, Tim, they have dominated on both sides of the football.
They really have, and I think that, you know, Dave Doeren was excited to watch them play. I think he said that about 10 times to us. I'm excited to come watch this team play, and I think we're starting to see why.
Again, many predicting their 2nd-place team behind Clemson inside the Atlantic. As the 4th quarter gets underway, and an incomplete pass. Fortin trying to target Terry. But incomplete in the opening seconds of the 4th. Now Leary for the Wolfpack, 15 out of 24, 210 yards with a couple of touchdowns. Bam Knight has carried 16 times, 163 yards and a touchdown. And Ricky Person has rushed for 90. He has caught 3 passes, and he has 3 touchdowns.
I mean, he's been outstanding, and I think we were really focused on Bam Knight. I mean, I think he's probably the best all-around back. That being said, some guys get in the game and just find ways to make it happen. That's been Ricky Person.
Forward to throw and out of bounds. Thomas and Fagan on the defensive side, 15 tackles and a couple of interceptions as well. So the Wolfpack has done it all.
And you know, the secondary, which, you know, if we go back to looking at this South Florida team. They have good receivers. They have speed at receiver, and I think one of the areas of that could have been improved, coming into the season was the secondary. And I think we saw Fagan with the interception, and I think competition on that end has really helped this group.
Fagan, the FSU transfer, with one of those picks. 3rd down and 10. Fortin running into the same trouble he did in the first half, and he's going to throw another interception. This one is picked off, and it's Engel with the pick. Tanner Engel, super aggressive, and it pays off again. That was a spectacular interception.
Yeah, and really it's an in-cut. Engel is the deep half-field player. And the ball ends up being a little high, and as he's closing on the receiver, and this is typically hard to do, it's actually looks like a pretty good catch, almost David Tyree from the Super Bowl, where he's pinning it against his helmet.
Yes,
right there. And Fortin's trying to stand in there under pressure, but Engel's coming up to make a hit, and then boom, gets surprised by the football and traps it on the side of his helmet.
The takeaway bone. And their 3rd interception. And they will stay on the ground and run it again, bouncing outside. The carry by Ricky Person, who was the workhorse in that first half. That's a serious bone.
What do you think would happen if they let Tuffy get to it?
Be
gone?
It would be gone in about 3 minutes. Let's get out of Kelsey.
Guys, I'm right behind the takeaway bone, and this defense is so excited when it comes out. I was over here a little while ago when Chris Fagan got it. It is a whole party, not just with the team, but with the fans really getting in on it. Of course, they take it out, they hold it up, and then they sign it. And then at the end of the year, whoever has the most signatures is the one that actually wins the takeaway bone. It's something they started doing last year because defensive coordinator Tony Gibson said he wants a lot of dogs on this defense.
Isn't it funny, the things that will motivate players, Dave? I mean, it's a little competition.
Just a little.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
38-0 lead. Blair will fire again. A completed pass. That one to C.J. Riley.
And some people may say, hey, it's 38-0. We're in the 4th quarter. What's Devin Leary doing in the game, passing the football? But I will tell you, that's a good example there of great timing, ball out before the receiver's in his break. You got to think about Leary. I mean, between last year with, COVID, contact tracing, missing games, the broken leg, I think it's valuable to get him snaps, get him attempts, even in situations like this.
Person staying up. But both of these guys so tough to bring down, Bam Knight and Ricky Person. It takes more than one. And when you have 2 of those guys who complement each other so well.
Yeah, and that's why, Trent Penix, who we've seen, going up in lead block, and he was a running back. And it was like, wait a second, this is a crowded room because, Jordan Houston has a role as well. And so how do I find my way out on the football field? And been really impressed with this group.
Houston will get a carry here, following a blocker. And picks up 4 yards on that carry. Both Knight and Person, incidentally, have reached 100 yards on the night.
And truthfully, with both those guys reaching 100 yards, I'd probably want to see a lot of Jordan Houston for the rest of the night.
First time since 2015 they've had 2 backs get to 100 yards in a game. So the list of achievements goes on and on here tonight. And it'll be Houston on the carry again, the sophomore from Waldorf, Maryland. And look at what that running back Tusum have done tonight. They have been the biggest part of the story on a very successful evening.
I mean, it's dangerous for me to do live math, but 32 carries for, 160 or 268 yards.
A combined 5 catches too. I thought it was really interesting listening to Ricky Person talk about their usage And they like the idea they can kind of break things up and split the workload between them oftentimes. They feel like they're not going to be worn down over the course of a season.
And I think that only works when you like each other. You know, you're going to compete with each other and like each other. And think back to, you know, Dave, we had a number of North Carolina games the past couple of years. Seeing those two backs, you know, they were okay, you know, rotating in. Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, they were all right doing that. And you've seen it, you know, other places as well. And look, when somebody emerges, that's fine. But, you know, I do think that having a good room certainly helps.
Well, it's Gray cut loose, and out of bounds he goes, showing off some of his outstanding speed. They really rave about how fast he is, and they will pick up a first.
I'll tell you what, look at Jordan Houston on the perimeter here. Number 3, the block right here. I mean, this is, that's a pancake block. We talk about, you know, Ike Ekwonu, you know, getting the bottles of syrup for his pancake block. Well, Jordan Houston, somebody needs to deliver him a bottle of syrup for that pancake block.
Well, Dave Doeren does that when they go through the film reviews on Sundays. Ickey, of course, has enough to stock a grocery. And a flag down here.
Ball start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
On Anthony Smith, the receiver. One more look at the block.
I mean, just look at this block here. This is a pancake block, and it's hard on the perimeter. Golly, that's good. And you know something? As a running back, okay, you got these 5 offensive linemen, tight ends, receivers blocking for you all the time. That right there goes a really long way. When you see the back decide to do that, all of a sudden those guys up front and everybody else wants to pitch in also.
2 wides left. Houston on the ground. Houston taken down around the 10-yard line and stopped by LaPointe. But now it's Jordan Houston, a sophomore, who's the primary back in the offense, and he's gaining yards. Leary, by the way, has hit 9 different receivers, Tim, in this game.
That's great. That's a great feeling as a quarterback when you know you've spread the football around. You know, and I mentioned it earlier. Tim Beck talked about the offense, you know, being the distributor, meaning the ball will, when the ball goes where it's supposed to go, everyone will touch it.
Leary will keep it, trying for the end zone, just short. As he will gain 8. Trying to dive ahead, and will bring up 3rd and goal.
All right, I'm on board with him staying in the game, okay? I might not be on board with this, Dave. He's spreading the ball around, coming off a leg injury. 38-0. That one made me hold my breath a little bit.
Looking to punch it in again. 3rd and less than a yard. And off Houston, right through for 6 more. And a touchdown by Jordan Houston. So it doesn't appear to matter who the running back is. They're going to be productive.
They are, and they're going to be productive behind that left side. The movement that they are getting on the left side of that offensive line is something special. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that they feel like they hit the jackpot with Chandler Zavala, the left guard, the transfer from Fairmont State. And you got Ikem Ekwonu at left tackle with Grant Gibson at center. That's a good-looking group.
And the extra point up, and it is good. The pancake block was a big part of that. 45-0.
Well, Jordan Houston doing a little bit of blocking, getting guys on the ground, and then punching it in for the score. And there's no doubt that Dave Doeren loves what he sees.
Wolfpack doing some dancing, serious dancing tonight. A 45-0 lead over the South Florida Bulls, who won only 1 game last year. Everybody is doing some dancing. Been a fun night for the Wolfpack in all phases of the game. And the Bulls will have it. Oh, what's better than funnel cakes and fried Oreos? My goodness.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business in 1929, he relied on 4 important values: freshness, quality, variety, and service. I'm proud to carry on his legacy, but from a bigger space. We still freshly roast, season, and dip delicious nuts here in New Jersey and deliver them with the freshest dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families that love our products all around the country, including mine. We think you'll love Nuts.com too, so check us out and enjoy free shipping on your first order.
ACC Network Thursday Night College Football is presented by delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Big day and night for Dave Doeren and the pack. Just before the game, throwing T-shirts to the appreciative student section. What student can't use another T?
I mean, they were excited. He was excited to see those fans. He was actually telling me his son, who's a student here, is going to be in that student section.
Well, Dave, in his 9th year at NC State, many people very high on his Wolfpack. Well, they're going to be tested next on the road. Mississippi State coming up. That's going to lose 4 yards. Dollison takes the hit.
You know, we're going to see some of these young linebackers for NC State, and I know Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator, feels like they've got a good group, and he feels like they've got a really good group behind them as well. We're going to get a chance to look at.
Peyton Wilson, Isaiah Moore, Drake Thomas has had a really fine game. Mangum in the backfield. And Ford with the handoff. Look at their upcoming schedule now. Mississippi State, then Furman, and then number 3 Clemson on September 25.
Yeah, and I think it's hard. You know, we know they're a good team. We know they're talented. It's hard to get a sense of how good, you know, in a game like this, an opener. I think it was clear that with so many transfers and with the kind of the talent turnover that's going on at South Florida, that it was really, this game was really about NC State doing kind of their staple things on offense and defense. And so I think it's going to be interesting when you get into games where you know the personnel, you're game planning them, just to see how good really this team is.
Now, of course, number 1 Alabama takes on Miami on ABC 3:30 on Saturday. Georgia, ranked 5th, takes on number 3 Clemson Saturday at 7:30. That game on ABC. And Notre Dame, number 9, facing FSU on Sunday at 7:30 on ABC. Inside the conference, Clemson, of course, always the top story, the 6-time reigning ACC champs. But at North Carolina, Mack Brown has groomed Sam Howell into one of the most exciting players in the country. Miami, as you mentioned, has King back at quarterback. De'Ara King, and the Canes are going to be dangerous. Virginia Tech looking to bounce back from 5-6. First losing record they've had since 1992. And by the way, Miami playing at North Carolina on October 16. Carolina's at Notre Dame 2 weeks after that. Among the other big ones coming up. And a completed pass that'll go to Battle as they will pick up the first down and then some at 20. And look at all those quarterbacks in action this weekend.
Yeah, and Dave, I have to say, since doing these ECC games with you over the last few years, I've loved the quarterback play in the conference. And you just look at this list of guys in front of us. Kenny Pickett's got a ton of experience. De'Ara King's one of the more exciting players in college football. Sam Howell burst onto the scene and has been excellent, from the jump. And obviously, you're trying to get me to say DJ Uiagalelei, which I just nailed, by the way. You're obviously expecting big things out of him.
Fumble, he picked it up. Battle got it back. Yeah, get your practice in before next. Just pulled that right
I got to be honest with you. I did it thinking like this could go poorly, but I think I nailed it.
Excited to get back to Clemson. That is always one of the real treats for us every college football season when we get the opportunity. It's phenomenal.
There's the excitement in that stadium and the talent that you get to see playing in that stadium, and the You know, I just think the experience, you know, playing under Dabo in that environment has been really good in recent memory, and it's always fun to see that in person.
By the way, I want to get to Boston College for a game this season, and I think we probably will. BC should be very, very interesting. But on that topic, congratulations to you, my partner, Tim Hasselbeck, being inducted into the Boston College Hall of Fame. Well done.
Well, I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you. Certainly an honor. Certainly caught me by surprise, and I thought you just wanted to go to BC for the short commute.
Well, there's that too. Okay, but I want to be there for your induction. If we're invited as Joyner, we'll pick up 10 with about 4:20 to go here in the final quarter in Raleigh. Do you have to make a speech, by the way?
It's a good question. I haven't been given that update yet, but
I think you might. I think there might be a speech attached to this. And
okay, well, I better get to work.
Got to get to work now. I know for Hall of Fame guys, that's a big deal. You don't want to leave anybody out.
No, and I'll tell you, like anybody that's had experience, you know, at any schools, there's a lot of people and a lot you would want to thank, and I'm thankful for my time there. A lot of great teammates and coaches I had.
Yeah, terrific honor, I know, for you. And
South Florida takes their first charge time out of the half.
We've got a timeout. Not everyone's going to make it through this one. 3:49 to go. 45-0 NC State. Well, back in Raleigh, and the Bulls intent on getting on the scoreboard. Going to keep it on the ground here. On the run by Batty. Let's go back down to Kelsey Riggs.
Well, Dave and Tim, we've got to introduce everyone to most of the members of this Wolfpack team so far, but we didn't get to introduce you to the newest member, Tuffy the Third, here for his very first home game. The 5-month-old Tamaskin puppy is part of the tradition here at NC State. Had a great time hanging out with him. Wasn't sure how he was going to react to the 50,000 fans or so that were in here, but he did great. Hung out in the first half down here and wasn't even spooked by the fireworks. I think I was a little more shell-shocked than he was, you guys.
Joyner with the catch. I thought Tuffy was tremendous, actually.
I mean, incredible poise.
Aged a little bit since the opening kickoff.
Clearly, but it's a good point. There were some pyrotechnics going on for introductions. Yeah. The student section was roaring. And
I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching that, why can't I get my dog just to sit? Just to sit.
Having been on Zoom meetings with you for the past couple of years, you have horribly behaved dogs.
I do. I do. There's no way around it. It's embarrassing. Hand off again, trying to keep it on the ground and punch in some points here on the carry by Joyner. The top returning running back, which was only 368 yards last year. But 3rd down and 4 as we come up on 2 minutes to go here.
Hey, by the way, don't think a shutout doesn't mean something to Dave Doeren and this staff. Like, you know, these guys are playing hard, and I guarantee you it's something they're thinking about.
No doubt about it. Gordon back to throw, is stepping up. Now he's going to run it. Trying to get down to that 6-yard line. He picks up 6 yards. And it'll be 1st and goal. So can they pitch a shutout tonight? The Wolfpack has done very, very few things wrong. Very few mistakes in this game.
And I think for an opener, too, when you look at penalties, been a pretty clean game there as well.
1st and goal, thrown over the top and incomplete. So 2nd and goal, 1:37 left. Well, we came on the air tonight talking about getting fans back again, how meaningful that is for the players, for the staff. Heck, for those of us who broadcast the game on television, it's huge.
There's no doubt about it. There's something special about, you know, an environment in a stadium for college football. And
Gordon to keep it again, trying to weave his way down to the goal line as he is stopped again after a 3-yard pickup. And the clock running, 3rd and goal.
When you think about the sacrifices, you know, whether it was testing or staying away from people, all the different things, the sacrifices for the players, you know, many times the reward is playing in front of the fans on a game day. like they've been able to do tonight.
These guys still in it. And looking for a stop. Under a minute to play. 3rd and goal for Cade Fortin, who has returned to the quarterback spot here in the second half. He's going to throw as a receiver, and it is incomplete. He was trying to hit Weaver at the edge of the end zone, but came up empty. 4th and goal.
It was interesting. Jeff Scott didn't love the play call. He was trying to call a timeout. And looked like they had a chance to come up with it there. And Xavier Weaver just not able to haul it in. And here comes that opportunity for the shutout.
The snap to Fortin, back to throw. Throws, and it is broken up. So NC State on their way to a shutout in their season opener against South Florida. Well, a couple of the big stars for Dave Doeren tonight, as Leary went 17 for 26, 232, 2 touchdowns. Bam Knight 16 carries, 163 yards. Ricky Person 16 carries, 105 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He also caught one for a touchdown. And NC State about to throw a shutout. Final seconds here in the 4th. They also had 3 interceptions.
I mean, just complete effort all the way around. I mean, special teams were sharp, fairly, clean game, and I think it's what you want to see. There's so much excitement about playing in front of fans, and I thought that Dave Doeren had his team ready, and they came out and performed.
Expectations very high for Dave and for the Wolfpack. Certainly lived up to those in the first game of the season. That's a tremendous season opener as they knock off South Florida by a final score of 45-0 here in Raleigh tonight. And Kelsey will be talking to Dave in just a moment. The Bulls still with a lot of work to do. You got to believe happier days are coming. Outstanding young coaching staff. Dave Doeren has eyes on some big targets inside the ACC. And many believe they could win as many as 9 games this coming season. Let's get out of Kelsey with Coach Doeren.
Coach Doeren, a shutout win in your first home opener. About 50,000 of your biggest fans here. What does this one feel like?
It's a great way to start the season. I'm really proud of the guys. To rush for 250 plus yards, to have a shutout, defensive staff. It's hard to get those. I mean, it's really hard to get a shutout. So awesome crowd tonight. Appreciate the fans.
We talked a lot about Devin Leary, the comeback, the expectations he has for himself and that you guys have for him. What were you impressed with the most tonight from his game?
It's how he let the last play go and just kept getting better as the game went on. I wish he wouldn't have ran the ball down there. It scared me a little bit. But, he had good control of himself. He made a few bad plays, and he just bounced back. It's a good start for him.
Scared Tim Hasselbeck a little bit, too, up in the booth when he saw that. I heard him comment on that. How about your running backs? I mean, you give any one of them the ball, and they can find the end zone.
Yeah, they're impressive. I mean, they're hungry. They got a good rotation with those guys. They're tough. The O-line played well tonight for them, and there's some big holes in there. And then those guys are jumping over people, and it'll be interesting to see how many yards after contact they had when we break it up tomorrow.
Coach, congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Go Pack. Appreciate y'all.
Dave Doeren just delighted with the effort. He ought to be. Coming up, the post game, the huddle. Jordan, EJ, Eric, and Coach Mark Richt joining you right here from Carter Finley Stadium. For my partner, Tim Hasselbeck, I'm Dave O'Brien, also for Kelsey Riggs. And we'll see you Saturday night from Atlanta.
Welcome into the Huddle postgame show. NC State rolls over USF to the tune of 45-0. Defense showed up, showed out, as did the entire Pack team, pitching a shutout. Impressive to the fans that stuck around in this one because it was over early. Welcome on in Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, Coach Mark Richt. It's been a pretty fun day, boys, hasn't it?
Absolutely, man.
Great day, great energy, just great night.
Great night, and the Pack came out and delivered. Early takeaways, Coach, your impression of the first showing of this Pack team?
Great running game. I love to see that 1-2 punch. It looked like they ran the stretch. It seemed like they ran the outside zone more than I'm used to them seeing. You could tell they've been working hard on that. Was big gainers for them. Swarming defense. They look like a contender to me.
Yeah, they did, Coach. You look at Devin Leary. He's definitely grown from last season to this season.
Yeah.
I think he showed strides, but tonight he really showed that pocket presence. A lot of times he was really just in the back of the pocket. He didn't have any pressures. He just was relaxed. He was calm. I remember a red zone throw for a touchdown. He was extremely calm and relaxed. I love what I saw from Devin.
He really picked it up in that second half and looked like a calm quarterback. There was a couple of times the pocket may have broken down or the first read wasn't there, and he was calm, cool, and collect. Rolls out, hits his target. Really impressive stuff. But the run game, Coach, I was all over it. The big uglies up front, paving the way. 2 stud running backs that really just looked fantastic.
Defensively, EJ, what did you see from the Pack tonight?
Well, Coach said earlier before half, just guys swarming to the football. There were so many red helmets and red caps around the ball every single time. At least 3 or 4 guys rallying to the football. I would assume the defensive coordinator is going to maybe take off some laps or something, some type of cardio, because the guys earned it tonight. They did a great job of swarming to the football.
And what was really impressive, guys, was looking at when USF would get in the red zone, these guys would bend, wouldn't break. I mean, to pitch a shutout, that's important, and that's important to this program. That's important to their head coach.
That's a lot of pressure on the second team defense.
It is. And third and fourth team guys.
Do not let them in that end zone.
Absolutely.
Now, Coach, what was unique about tonight is they're usually good vibes, always positive, glass half full, slightly irritable tonight. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, well, I got the beak a couple times tonight.
What's the beak?
The beak. Well, the beak in my wife's family, if something gets in your craw, and I don't know if you know what a craw is. I don't even know myself. But if something gets under your skin, you get the beak about it. And so I'm watching the game, and I see South Florida on the 2-yard line, drop it back to throw a post wide open by 5 yards. He misses it by 5 yards. It's too hard to protect. Get a guy that wide open, and then you got to hit that ball. You got to hit that ball. And the second beak, I don't have any film of it, but I see Leary running the dang quarterback, whatever.
What are we doing?
It's 35-0, and he's about to get splattered at the end zone.
I'm with you on that one.
Get him out of the game.
You know, so let's stay with Devin Leary, and you'll have beaks. Now, this is something we're going to have.
I guarantee you. Beak of the week.
That's what we're calling it, a beak of the week. I love it.
Who's it sponsored by?
We'll get a sponsor. You know we'll
hey,
get a sponsor.
Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam.
Aflac, they got the beak with the duck, right?
There you go.
There you go. Could be Aflac.
I want to pull it back to Devin Leary, because Devin Leary, a lot of expectation, anticipation, seeing him tonight on the field, having missed the lion's share of the season with the broken leg. What did you see from him, man? He wasn't needed heavily, but what did you see tonight?
Yeah, guys, well, one thing that most won't talk about in the stat sheet is he only got sacked 1 time tonight. Now, that's part his offensive line is running back, picking up in protection, but I also think he was very decisive with the football. A lot of times he was getting the ball out of his hands, and even when he broke the pocket, he was even throwing it to a receiver, or he was throwing it to the second deck, trying to get it out of bounds. So, again, he looked sharp, like you just said, Coach. He was clean. There wasn't a lot of mistakes in this game.
Well, I'm hoping that's going to happen all throughout the league. There's so many quarterbacks coming back with starting experience. When quarterbacks play well, it's good football to watch. And that was a great example tonight.
Absolutely. And just seeing him feel comfortable in this offense, that's what we wanted to see. And going through his checks, going through his reads, bang, bang, just quick. And that's what you want to see from a veteran guy. So, Coach, I think that's why they wanted to leave him in there just a little bit. Yeah, he hasn't played a full season and had the injury.
Something happened to him.
I saw him running, and I was like, no, what are we doing?
Well, he got out of this one clean. The Pack got out of this one clean. Only 3 penalties in the first game of the season is something.
No, they look great.
Pretty impressive.
And that's what we talked about. A veteran team, that's what you want to see.
Why don't I show you guys how we got there?
Let's do it.
Highlights, a whole lot of them in a 45-0 victory. Let's get right to it here. The first game of the season kicking off. First showing of the Pack. The fans were here. It was a beautiful scene at Carter Finley. And we start with Devin Leary. Highly anticipated return, and he delivered. Lobs a pass to Ricky Person. I don't know about senior, but junior came to play tonight. Buzzing like the pizza delivery man right here at the wheel route. And gets 6 quick, 33 yards for the touchdown. Pack on top, first 7-0. Early second quarter, NC State leading 10-0. In the red zone, Moore Person Jr., 11 yards for the touchdown, his second tutty of the day. NC State leads 17-0. Under a minute to go in the first. More Ricky Person Jr., another touchdown. NC State on top, 24-0. And they kept on piling on. Bam! Zion tonight cuts left, hits the sideline for a 46-yard touchdown. NC State a commanding lead, 31-0 at this point. Late third. Add a little bit more. Leary connects with Christopher Tootle.
That was pretty right there.
That was victorious. Kelsey Riggs with Ricky Person Jr.
Love it.
Ricky, it seemed like just about everything was going right for you guys defensively, but especially offensively. What does this win mean to you?
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's just a stepping stone for us and what we're capable of doing. I know, like, we had 2 years ago, you know, we had the setback that we didn't want to have, and we just want to be able to show people what we're capable of doing.
We heard time and time again this week that you give any one of these running backs the ball, and you guys can all get it done. What's it like to be a part of that group?
I love the group. I mean, we work hard. We push each other day in and day out. I mean, just the competition in our room. Good kudos to Bam, Jordan, DeMarcus, everybody. Like, we push each other to the max every day.
We've heard all offseason the belief that this team has in Devin Leary and that we were going to see a different quarterback this year. What do you think you saw from him tonight?
He played his ass off tonight. Devin, he's a true baller. I mean, he's a captain of this team, and he's leading the right way, and I love the way he balled out tonight.
Congratulations. We like the way you balled out tonight, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, the Wolfpack now improved to 1-0 after the blowout win tonight versus South Florida. A tougher opponent next week, no question, as they travel to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. Reminder, the FBI is NC State, the 26th hardest schedule in the FBS, the 4th toughest in conference. So I want to start here because it was a blowout as a team they expected to blow out. The Pack business-like in their approach. They took care of business, pitched a shutout, won 45-0. What can you truly take away and what this Pack team is going to look like moving forward?
Exactly what we were talking about pregame. Experienced, veteran, clean game.
Right.
45-0, I don't think you get much cleaner.
You can't
Penalties,
cry about
you
that.
can't get much cleaner. And when you look at what you're going into next week, Stark Vegas, big-time environment, they're going to want to throw the ball like crazy. It's what they do. Mike Leach and that air raid offense, this defense is built for that. It's a 3-3-5.
You think they'll have a recording of the cowbells all week long? They'll be practicing all
it's the worst. It's the worst.
I'll tell you what I love tonight, guys. 3 penalties, 25 yards on NC State. That's excellent. That's an experienced football team. That's a team that's not shooting themselves in the foot. That's a team that's giving themselves an opportunity to move with the football.
Especially game one.
Especially in game one. A lot of times you have guys jumping off sides, guys passing interference, doing all types of boneheaded mistakes. You didn't see that tonight. It was a clean game.
Well, going to Mississippi State is a bigger game than it was tonight. And it's great to have a game under your belt before you play a team like that at an away game. So I think the experience of just getting that first game over with, being in front of a crowd, and doing so many things right, it's going to give them confidence going into
Coach, tell us how vanilla a game plan like we just saw might have been, knowing that you have an NC or a Mississippi State next week. Do you hold stuff back? Because, you know, that wheel route out of the background, I thought we might have saved that, but you wanted to see it.
Well, you put your plan together. You have everything. You have every bullet to shoot. But as the game's going on, I'm sure after that first touchdown and they started to control the game, they're like, we're not showing any more of these big bullets. We're going to hold on to them and just run the stretch until they can't stand it anymore.
It'll clearly be the signature win because the season's so young, but could this be, body of work-wise, a signature win to go into Starkville and get a win like this?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime that you have that inter-conference matchup, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12, any of that, that's a signature win. It matters, and it's important to fans. It's important to the conference.
No doubt.
And they have a great opportunity next week.
Well, the first challenge, they've checked off that box. Looked very impressive here. Great point, EJ, about business-like in terms of playing clean football. Only 3 penalties, 45-0. You're going to be smiling in film session. A reminder, everybody, as we focus on football here, a whole lot going on in the world. Thousands affected by Hurricane Ida, and they urgently need support. Make sure you donate at redcross.org/ESPN to go ahead and help the Red Cross respond to and help people recover from this disaster? Well, we're just getting started with the football season. This is just scratching the surface, showing one of the ACC and a whole lot more to come this weekend, starting or picking up with Friday Night Lights tomorrow. We break down all those matchups. That's next.
How about that, baby?
Thank you very much, Paul Carcaterra there, setting up what's going to be a massive game with UNC and Virginia Tech. Carter Finley empty now, but this place was rocking. Raleigh delivered from the moment we touched down to the final buzzer, as this one was all NC State. A smiling Coach Dave Doeren here, undefeated with home openers.
That's
now
right.
8-1 with season openers. And Coach, you're going to be pretty proud of what you saw out there tonight from your guys.
Really proud of them, man. It's hard to get a shutout in college football. So for defensive coaches and players, and offensively, it's great to get a bunch of guys in the game. And I really loved how we ran the football. We were really physical up front. You know, expected that. But to see how the backs played, too, you know, and almost have 300 yards rushing, would have been perfect if we could have got that tonight.
Yeah.
How about that trench warfare up front, Coach? Come on. I mean, the big uglies moving guys out of the – I mean, you have some very talented running backs, but those guys just moving the pile.
I love those guys. You know, we're going to have to go to Walmart and get a bunch of syrup tonight so you hand it out in the morning. Even the running backs got in on it. I don't know if you saw Jordan Houston's block down here at the end. That was awesome.
Hey, Coach, is it my imagination, or are you running the stretch more than you have in the past? I mean, you ran it so beautifully tonight.
Yeah, we did. We ran a lot of it with all the stuff they were doing on defense, you know, just to collect everything.
It all, yeah. It's a good job.
Yeah, it's a good play for us.
Yeah, Coach, I was most impressed with 3 penalties for 25 yards in the first game of the season. That's rare. And you talk about the experience of your team, all these guys being older guys. Talk about that a little bit and how you've kind of stressed that throughout the fall camp.
Well, it started in January. Our first team meeting of the winter, I did a presentation on our 109 penalties from last year. And it carried over, and we had officials at every practice in the spring, officials at every practice in fall, and just made a huge emphasis on how we can't beat us if we want to be the best team we can be, and the guys have bought into that.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about your linebackers when we were here with you a month ago, and seeing those guys just shine on a bright stage and having all these fans back. Isaiah Moore, to me, is the alpha.
Yeah.
He's calling everything. He's setting everything. Just his energy from 40 yards away is contagious. What does that guy bring to this team?
Well, he is. I mean, everybody listens to him. They respect him on and off the field. He's fast. He's tough. He's got it all, man. And the way Drake plays next, Drake Thomas, I thought, had a heck of a game tonight, too. Yep. You know, and then we got a good rotation in there. Peyton played some, and then we got Jalen Scott in the game. So it's a good crew.
Now, Coach, are you going to talk to Devin Leary about maybe sliding or something like that? A few times. Coach Rick talked about freaking out. Coach, we need him to play the whole season.
I was freaking out. I was like,
make sure you let him know, hey.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, man, take care of yourself. You're up 35
they all
points.
Play with an edge, even their quarterback.
Yeah, but not him.
Hey, Coach. Yeah. When I used to do my coach's show, we had a segment where my wife would say, "Coach, what are you thinking?" And that was one of those deals like, "Oh my gosh, it could have been horrible."
Yeah, that would have been really bad, but came out of it good.
No, it came out great.
Coach, when I think about what you guys did last year, historic season, and there's so much buzz now about what this program can do. How do you manage that? Do you ever draw upon last year, or is it only looking forward with this team?
No, we do. We use the past as a lesson to learn from. In my pregame talk today, I talked about the last 2 years, and all the things we've been through, because a lot of these guys were a part of what happened 2 years ago when it was really bad, and so we've learned a lot through the thing, and like I told them, it made us stronger. It made us who we are as a team, and you can't take that for granted.
You look like a contender, Coach.
Yeah,
you really
that's one game. I appreciate you saying that.
No, but you do.
That's one game. Yeah.
No, I really believe you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's interesting, though, you mentioned that, Coach, because when we were standing on the sidelines, EJ grabbed me right away and said, the bodies of this group makes you guys look like contenders, and showed it in an opponent tonight. You made the statement businesslike in doing what you needed to do.
I appreciate you guys saying that. I'm proud of these guys and proud of the way they work, and our strength staff does a really good job with them. They're hungry. They got a chip on their shoulder, and they want to be better than they were last year. So let's take it one at a time. We got a big SEC game next week.
That's right. That's right.
I want to ask you about that SEC matchup really quick. I know you want to enjoy this one, but an early look ahead to that one. What can that mean for this program to start 2-0 and get that win on the road and start?
Yeah, well, we're going to get used to the cowbell this week, I guess. Right?
I just said they're going to have a recording of that.
Oh, yeah.
All practice long.
We're going to break that one out. A lot of Will Ferrell clips. There you
go.
But,
you can't beat that.
I've played against Coach Leach, when I was at Kansas several times, and he was at Texas Tech.
Tech. He's a really good offensive football coach, and I know they're going to be really good offensively in year 2. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see their game with Louisiana Tech this week, and then, see where it goes. He's got a new quarterback, and it's going to be a good football game, and it's a great environment from what I've been told to play down there. We're looking forward to going down there.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we open up the show with these guys all saying you guys should be thinking 10 wins this season.
Yeah.
Certainly feels like it with what you showed today. We appreciate you coming up here, joining us after such an impressive showing tonight. Congratulations to you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys being here. It was awesome having you on our campus, and we hope you come back soon.
That's weather's like this. We'll come back
every week, baby. Bring my golf clubs next time, too.
We'll bring those.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You took me on a golf course last night. We ain't played together. All right, the huddle, it continues on. Football weekend just getting started. Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. It all happens in the huddle on ACC Network. Make sure you lock in tomorrow night.
You're good.
Welcome back here to the huddle. The Pack now improved to 1-0 after the blowout win tonight versus South Florida. They got a tougher opponent next week, no question. They travel to Starkville. They take on Mississippi State. A reminder, the FPI has the Pack with the 26th hardest schedule in FBS and the 4th toughest in the conference. Kelsey Riggs caught up with a winning quarterback, Devin Leary.
Devin, congratulations, an outstanding performance. We talked beforehand about the belief that you had in yourself, the switch that you flipped last year after the injury. To see it pay off like this, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I thought we just played a great game all around. Defense balled out, special teams played well, offensive line, I mean, they worked their tail off all week, and it went to show today. I think we had a couple missed opportunities the first half, but I thought second half we bounced back pretty well.
What does it do for you when you're able to shake off something, that turnover that you had in the first half, come right back and answer?
Yeah, it's just something that we preach all the time, 1-0 mentality. And that's something I really stand on, something I firmly believe in. Tell the offense every single drive, we go out there, let's just go 1-0 each and every play, and that's always been my mentality.
You said Coach Beck tells you, just be the point guard. I've got a million guys around you, just be the point guard. We saw that tonight, especially with this running back room. How much fun is it to play with these guys?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Like I said earlier, it just makes my job that much easier. Being able to have guys on the perimeter like we do, being able to have guys in the backfield like we do, I mean, being a point guard for them, it just makes it so much easier just to assist it out to all of them. And like I said, the offensive line played fantastic.
45-0, a shutout win for you guys. What do people need to know about the expectations that this team has this year?
We're just going to continue to go 1-0. I mean, I think the ceiling is high as we want it to be. And just we're going to get back into film, watch it tomorrow, learn from our mistakes, and just continue to progress from here on out.
Congratulations on a great start.
Thank you.
Happy for that young man, resilient, bouncing back. Now, is that Scott Van Pelt?
No, man, that's Lieutenant Colonel McLean and my Uncle Doug. Man, thank you guys for being here. Love them. Wow. He's saying something. Man, we can't hear you, Big Daddy. What are you doing?
The sacrifices that they are making. The things that they are doing, man.
Shout out to Annabelle Myers hooking us up and getting them out there. E, your parents were here.
My mom and dad got a
good
chance
to meet
come
them.
all you guys. Thank y'all for being so gracious to them, and that made the
We're
trip,
just
man.
seeing you and your mom and dad sitting over there watching the ball game together.
That's a cool moment. When's the last time y'all got to sit down and watch a game?
I was going to say probably my sister's high school basketball game back in 2002. You know what I mean? So years ago.
Big shout out to Annabelle. Thank you so much.
Coach can speak for the both of you guys and say the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree.
No.
Appreciate it.
Both your sets of parents here and the Colonel. I mean, guys
Colonel's
are talking,
big
the
time.
personality.
Where do you think I got it from, man?
You got to mic him up next time.
That's right. Maybe a little Father's Day segment one day.
Easily.
We'll definitely figure that one out. Well, whole lot of excitement going into the weekend. We've laid out what Friday looks like. How about Saturday? Mega matchups, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Clemson and Georgia, two-star quarterbacks. The DJ Uiagalelei era has begun there in Clemson. A sharp young man in JT Daniels is the headline QB1 guy for Georgia. This matchup, everyone's talking about the quarterbacks. When you dive into it, Coach, what do you see?
Well, I think it's true the quarterback's going to make a big difference, but the difference is going to be whose offensive line plays the best against two of the best defensive linemen lines in the country. So both these guys need protection. Both these guys need a running game. They're not tremendous athletes. There's not going to be a lot of QB run. So whose offensive line is going to show up that day and provide the space and the time for those guys to make their plays.
Yeah, I'm excited just to see, again, who's going to rise up to the moment, you know, for a team like Georgia who has just been hitting this glass ceiling of taking that next step and, you know, getting to a national championship, pretty much having it won, and then a young freshman in Tua Tagovailoa comes in and wins that game. You know, what do they look like? And are they ready for this moment? We know Clemson has been there in recent history, and the Tigers are going to be more than ready. There's going to be so much star power everywhere you look. You talk about NFL draft, those guys are going to be all over the place.
Yeah, all over the field. And obviously you see the quarterback matchup, but like Coach said, starting in the trenches. Any game when you have good on good, whoever has the best defensive line or the best offensive line, however they perform, that's going to really usually predict who's going to win the football game, because then that controls how the quarterback's going to play. Is he going to be throwing a lot of interceptions? Are the running backs going to be fumbling balls because guys are in the backfield hitting them as soon as they get a handoff? So I really think it's going to start in the trenches for both teams.
Well, we look at Uiagalelei replacing Lawrence, right? Well, how about in that backfield? No ETN. Who is the guy? I know there's some of you have been celebrating. You say he's ready to break out and be a star in that Clemson backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, does the freshman get the nod? And historically, Will Shipley. And historically, Coach Sweeney and that staff play the senior. They play the older guy. They wait to play the freshman. I think this guy's that special that he can kind of take that and say, just watch me. I think
he may not take the first toast.
That's right.
But he's going to get a bunch.
I have not heard this much excitement from a freshman coming out of Clemson's camp since Sammy Watkins. It's been a while, but he's probably that good. It's a lot.
You want to go into this one thinking positive for the conference and for Clemson, absolutely. But is this a game where if Clemson doesn't show well and is on the other side of this game at the end of it, what does that mean for CFP implications for them?
Well, I'll take that one. You know, I think that it's a bigger deal for Georgia.
Absolutely.
I think because Georgia still eventually has to get through Alabama. What have we seen with Clemson the last 6 years? They run the conference. They own this conference. And so not that it's easier or harder. Both of these teams' schedules after each other are very easy. It's not good scheduled by either one of them. But I think the fact that Georgia still would have to go through an Alabama is the bigger deal.
Quickly, give me one key for the other big-time matchup on Saturday. What a weekend this is going to be. Miami, Alabama, Coach. An opportunity for Miami to make a real
I think it's the offensive line play again. Usually the biggest difference between the SEC and other conferences is the linemen. And I think it weighs heavily in Alabama's favor unless Miami's offensive line does some things that they just haven't done in the past.
Yeah, well, I think it's mentality. Don't go into that game half-step in Miami. Go out there and act like you belong on that field with Alabama, because they do. I mean, they have great players. Those guys were getting recruited by Alabama. Alabama's players were getting recruited by Miami. So, hey, it's good on good, man. Go out there and handle your business.
I'm going quarterback mobility. King has to be a superstar. He has to do it all with his legs, with his arm, with his brain.
But it starts up front.
It does. You got to block a little bit. You got to block a little bit.
Get run over slow.
That's right.
And I'm really excited to see D'Eriq King, like you mentioned, like everybody is. He had taken a hit here in preseason.
That's
right.
So he's going to be seeing an Alabama defense. He's going to have to be ready to rock. Here's what's on our air for Saturday. Kicking off at noon, Colgate and BC, UMass and Pitt, and bringing it home with our primetime football matchup, Northern Illinois, and Coach Collins, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. It's going to be a marathon, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Guys, before we go, quick thought on what we saw tonight to get the season started.
Physicality, veteran team. That's what we expected from NC State. Look forward to them to build on that next week.
Like Big E just said, veteran team, which equals experience. Guys played a clean game, 3 penalties, 25 yards total. I love what I saw from these guys.
A full stadium of fans that had a great time. They had a party here. It was awesome.
Fellas, it's great to be back. It's going to be a very fun year. We're just getting started. It's going to be a long weekend.
That's right.
It's going to be a fun one. Make sure you get your rest. We're right back at it in the studio. Raleigh, you're beautiful. Thanks for having us. Have a good night, everyone.